Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Tex is back over here with the MUTMEN podcast. This is going to be episode number 47, and GutFoxxs is here as always, man. How's it going?
Not so bad. Yourself?
It's going good, man. It's cold out here in Texas, which is I'm like not used to being cold right now. Usually the heat's out or the sun's out, but we'll hopefully don't freeze to death in the middle of the night. That'd be kind of
what's cold? What's cold to Texans?
It's like 60 degrees outside right now. Yeah, it's kind of overcast, like it's about to rain. It's cold as hell, man. I don't understand it, man. Like I'm used to being in Colorado, but like Texas, man, it's something different. I don't know what's going on.
That's a summer in Seattle. You know that?
I mean, but that's true. But they got weed up there though, so they can like kind of calm themselves and warm themselves up with some green.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. We also have a guest on today. It's gonna be Kliquid. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks for having me.
This is your third time on the show, right? What's up, huh?
Dude, it's like 40 degrees here, and I'm like, oh, it's a nice day out. I'm in Minnesota, by the way, if you guys don't know.
Minnesota. You got snow up there?
Minnesota.
Wait, Texas, is that your Minnesota accent?
I don't know. I watched How I Met Your Mother, and they pronounced it like terribly, so I was just trying to copy them. I guess that's not how you do it. Is that how that works?
Well, Kliquid, can we hear your good like northern Minnesota accent?
Yeah, sure, you betcha.
That sounds like Fargo.
Yeah, no, see, that's the thing is the people in where I'm from, like the Twin Cities area, we don't really have an accent like that. But if you go like an hour and a half, 2 hours north of me, everybody talks like that.
Well, you know what's funny? People in Australia don't think they have an accent either. It's just us funny Americans that think they do, so... That's how that
they know
works.
that they sound different than we do.
But we sound different than they do. So who has the accent then?
No, everybody has an accent, but we just don't have people from Minnesota just don't have the same accent that you would expect. I think, like your average person from Minnesota.
Like how do you even get an accent though? Like is it because they're just cold all the time, so they gotta talk with like with scarves on and stuff? Is that how that works?
It's the echo from all the igloos.
Makes sense. All right, Texas, do you want to bring us into the first subject?
All right, so EA went ahead and dropped a patch over here in the game. Also, keep in mind for those that are new, you can catch this episode 46 on GutFoxxs Channel as well as episode 48, which will be next week. You can check it out on iTunes as well. Links to be down in the description below. And hopefully some time steps on the screen, some games you guys can watch. But EA recently dropped a patch. I think it's patch 10, which is a lot of patches over here in this game. And we're going to go ahead and discuss the topics or what they fixed in the game in this part of the podcast. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm not too sure. I don't have the list in front of me. Do you got it over there, Fox?
Yeah, I can go down one by one. All right, on the gameplay improvements, remove the ability to flick the right stick to pump fake when the player is outside of the pocket. Right stick will now always throw ball away in these situations. What are you guys' thoughts on that, Kliquid?
Dumb.
What do you mean?
Like, what's the point? Like, okay, so now instead of where I've always been trained in every other Madden game that when I roll out of the pocket, I can still use that mechanic, and now suddenly I can't.
The pump fake? You like using the pump fake mechanic?
I don't use it, but I'm just saying, like, if I were to like want to ever do it, I would not assume that it would throw the ball away. Isn't there a button for throwing the ball away? Why the hell does it not just just use that?
I think a lot of people they would flick it instead of click it, as Z Farrell says, but like so when you click it down is the throw ball away. But this has happened to me a bunch too, where I accidentally flick it instead of click it down. Yeah. Texas, what do you think?
Man.
I like that they got rid of it because it doesn't do anything for the defense. Like if you go back to 2000 and the Rose Bowl with Vince Young, he pump faked, got a defender in the air, rushed for a touchdown. You can't do it over here, Madden. The defender doesn't jump, true. So there's no point for pump faking outside of the pocket, really. Because nobody's going to fake it unless the user's there and he's controlling that person. The pump fake's kind of useless. So if it automatically outside the pocket gives you the throwaway mechanic when there's nobody open, I like that. It's much more convenient than accidentally pressing down, but the game registered as you pressed up or down or back or left, and you end up fumbling the ball because you pressed the wrong button. I'm cool with them.
Yeah, I think
changing that.
The biggest issue with like that, like maybe it does affect some things, but the problem is like you don't have enough control over the body of the quarterback to like then stop him and move the other way to kind of avoid that. If you know what I mean, like so say it works, but then like because Vince Young knows how to run and throw, and he can move his body at any type of speed or angle that he wants to, it's a lot more effective when he does that. But with us, we're like, all right, you flick it, but then you still, the momentum of Madden's carrying you, and you can't really like stop in a dime and move, if you know what I mean. So maybe it's just like the avatar in Madden isn't as good as like a real life person doing the pump fake. So I'm glad they got rid of that.
Well, I think it's. I mean, I guess when I said dumb, I just mean like I cannot think of a single time where that's ever happened to me. But I don't. Maybe I just play differently than you. I don't know. But it's just not something that's really affected me. So I don't really give that much of a crap about it. But here's one thing that I do want to say about it. When you were talking about like the mechanics as far as like the player actually moving, agility should be the thing that allows you to do that. If you have high agility, you should be able to juke around like Mike Vick after you pump fake. You know, and then if you have crap agility, you should stumble around and fall to the ground. You know, like. I don't really understand why some of these attributes just don't feel like they're really that important to some positions, you know?
Yeah. I know what you're saying. The thing is, they nerfed QBs behind the line of scrimmage, too, and I didn't touch on that. And, like, I don't know. What is it? Like, so you won't be able to make those Mike Vick moves behind the line of scrimmage because if you remember Madden 15, that was so bad, being able to run full speed. Really?
Well, I loved the days of Madden 25 where we could run freaking read options all day. That shit was hilarious. Like I was using QB Walter Payton, the 85 overall, until like a month left in the season.
Yeah. Was it? What was the quarterback that was super overpowered? That was like a silver back then. I don't remember. But I don't know.
Like
Texas
3 or something.
Yeah, Texas. What is your opinion on it?
The quarterback move behind a line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
I think that they need to get the certain guys that can move better and be behind a line of scrimmage. Like for example, Drew Brees moves well in a pocket, but for some reason in Madden, he's basically just as fast as Vic. And I think Vic being just as fast as Brees, and they have different types of like skill sets by like avoiding pressure and extending the play. Like I don't feel like it's kind of great, but it all ties in with blocking though. Like the blocking is not that great, and so the move behind the line of scrimmage can't really be that great for blocking. It's gonna give up a sack, or a guy is gonna come in. Your guy's just not gonna block him because he's too busy looking into space. So I would like the Vic to be fast behind the line of scrimmage, but until the blocking gets improved, that's probably something that's just not really gonna happen.
Not to mention
we'll talk about blocking a little bit. Go on.
Spies and stuff are pretty much shut down most QB runs anyway.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
it's
as
because
of right now they do. I mean, I guess I don't
they
know
do.
if they changed the mechanics a lot, then maybe it wouldn't. I don't know, but
no. So
pretty effective.
Yeah, they're effective because the quarterbacks are slowed down. Whereas, like, if Vic could throw 96 speed behind the line of scrimmage, there's no way, like, a defensive lineman spy would be able to keep up with that.
And
it'd
be
like,
though. Because, like,
exactly, they shouldn't be able to.
Like, in real life, a defensive spy doesn't keep up, like, D-tackle or 85 speed defensive end can't keep up with them. Usually it's linebacker spying them. But in Madden, they allow you to only rush 2 people and put 2 spies up and have no speed. You can't outrun them because they have the angle and you can't juke. I kind of wish that they would probably enhance that aspect, but again, that all ties into. I'd rather have better blocking than them doing that, though.
Yeah. It's really interesting what you say about the juking, because Rex mentioned today on the MUTcast that you see a lot of those top end competitors. You know, you see it during the tournament. Instead of like trying to juke out guys this year, they just give up. You know, like they get a catch in like the middle of traffic, they'll just give up and try to like extend it. Whereas like remember in Madden 16 where you get the double juke to try and like extend the play a lot. It was a lot more exciting, it felt like. Whereas now it's kind of embarrassing. Like if a real football player, like a running back or wide receiver, just gives up before taking a hit instead of trying to juke or lower their shoulder, it's they're seen as like a coward.
Yeah, soft. That's the word people like throwing around these NFL players who are much tougher than we all are. So
it's obviously because of the fumble issues, though. Like that's the only reason that's happening.
In Madden?
Jukes aren't effective.
Well,
because if there was, I mean, like just as an example, if they weren't going to fumble, like if there wasn't really a good chance of fumbling, like let's say in every other year of Madden that I've ever played anyway, I didn't feel like fumbling was a big issue. This year, though, it feels like it's a big issue. So, yeah, guys are giving up in the middle of the field because they know that the chances of them actually getting an advantage on the defense by doing a juke or a spin or a truck or something like that is so minimal, and the chances of them fumbling is so high that there's just not the benefit, you know?
Yeah, it's a risk-reward right there. It's like if I spin here or if I juke here, I'm more than likely going to get big hit. There's no point. So they just go ahead and just fall down real quick and just take these guaranteed yards and not chances to a fumble, because like you said last year, you could just go ahead and just spin, juke, and then potentially make that one guy miss, make 2 guys miss, and you're off to the races. Over here, you are not going to make two dudes miss. You may make one guy miss, but your guy slows down, then he gets the animation where the guy pops the ball out, and you're just running down the field, and then nobody wants that. So I can see why all these guys are falling now. It's not a good thing. I don't know if Rex was saying that in positive context, or if he was just saying that just as an observational. No. I kind of don't like that everybody's just falling now instead of trying to make plays happen, because this game is sold on crazy features, stiff arming, trucking, juking, and people are just falling down after plays with players that could probably do all these things, but the game doesn't allow them to.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. So I think their whole ball carrier animation stuff this year, I think it was kind of, I mean, trucking's nice, but the rest of it's kind of a bust. I think I really didn't like the change this year to their to any of their ball carrier moves. And the reason I brought up the broken tackles, I kind of jumped ahead on the patch notes, and maybe I'll touch on it.
We can go from like most important to least
it's because
important.
They increased the frequency of broken tackles that can trigger from hit sticks. Now, this is noticeable in draft champions when you got guys with lower hit power, but when you got guys like Sean Taylor, Night Train Lane, Mel Blunt back there, the hit sticks still get triggered like crazy. So it didn't really change anything at the top end of MUT gameplay, in my opinion, from my stream tonight.
Good.
It's funny because I didn't think broken tackles I didn't think we needed like more of them. I thought we needed less, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So the update basically made broken tackles for like small, like lower end guys. So if you have like Sherman or you have a Deion Sanders type, they're not going to be out here making tackles. But if you have, like you said, Mel Blunt and Dick Lane and all these huge hitters, as they probably should be, their tackles be more frequent. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it kind of makes these ratings matter, I guess, but I still don't know. Tackling is still random to me. There's some guys in this game that don't make tackles well, even though they have high tackles. Some guys in this game that just are just monsters at it.
Well, Tex, there's two different types of tackles. There's conservative tackle, which uses the tackle rating, and then the hit powers, which uses the hit power rating. A lot of people don't know this. I'm sure a lot of people do, though. The hit power not only determines the fumble chance, but also the chance of successfully tackling that person. So, like, you'd think, like, the tackle would be like, oh, the success chance. But no, on hit sticks, it's all hit power. So I can see what you're saying. Some of them make, depending on their tackle rating, make tackles better than others. But I think it could be like the hit power might be just higher than the tackle rating.
Have you tested that, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did a video on it or something, or you just?
I didn't do a video.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that hit power actually does matter this year. I've been saying in years past that that's like something I wouldn't look at for a player. Because
really?
Because I just don't see the difference. I played with high hit power guys with the chemistry maxed out, and I'll force one fumble. Then I played with a cornerback that's not supposed to be forcing fumbles, and I get 3 fumbles out of them. So I just I find it irrelevant. I think it's just a flip of the coin. I think it's one of these RNG type things where you just basically just hope that it happens. Like the strip is kind of like, it kind of makes that a little bit more prevalent. If you keep hitting the strip button, you're more likely to cause a fumble than not. And I understand broken tackle after that, but when testing high hit power guys like Cam Chancellor, Landon Collins, they just keep big hitting dudes on the defense, especially quarterbacks on offense. I mean, and they don't fumble the ball. It's kind of weird to me. So that's why I just say don't look at this. Just look at don't even look at tackle really, because the broken tackles are crazy as well. I just don't believe in that. But I think tackling is all just nonsense. It just happens or it doesn't happen.
Well, a lot of it, maybe with those high hit power guys, you expect more out of them, so you take bigger chances. And most the most important thing with tackling and hit power is the angle at which you hit them.
Yes, angles definitely. I know that's important.
Yeah. So
as it should be. I actually really don't have a problem with the tackling mechanics, and I'm about to get roasted, I'm sure, in the comments about that. But I actually think the tackling is, for the most part, okay this year.
Yeah.
I think at the beginning of the year there was way too many fumbles going on, but
some of them are cool. I don't like the one where one guy can tackle him and then the second guy comes in, the guy breaks the tackle and runs for a touchdown. I don't know why that's a thing.
Well, yeah.
Like how is one dude tackling this dude and then the second guy comes in and makes the guy get a touchdown?
I will say, I lost in the playoffs in high school off that exact thing happening.
Did you?
With like 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter. So I've seen it happen in real life.
It can happen, yeah.
I know it can happen because like you can come in and you can knock the guy who has the position out of place. Because it happened to me too in like high school against our rival against Mesa. It wasn't against. I was on a bench because I was a sophomore, couldn't play. This one little dude came in and messed up this tackle, but it happens so much in Madden where it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's a script animation. It's like a predetermined thing you can't control.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah, honestly, though, I think those two things that we've talked about aren't really that big.
But at the same damn time, how come shoelace tackles happen so much more than like just like head-on tackles? Seems like you can always get a shoelace tackle more so than you can like an actual head-on collision.
Yeah, that's something I don't like. Those suction tackles.
Like you said, animations, because it doesn't seem like there's an animation to get out of that. There's an animation to get out of the standard tackles.
That's actually like there's no. You can see NFL players like Randy Moss. I don't know if you watched that 10-minute compilation of him scoring touchdowns. When a guy dove at his legs, he would do the high step.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean obviously in real life you can do it, but I'm just saying in Madden there's no counter, so it's dumb.
You would think Madden would have that. Okay.
No, you wouldn't.
Next year, man, Frostbite Engine is gonna be lit. They're gonna have that. They're gonna have the high step in the game.
I've seen it, but it's so rare that you almost never see it. Like it's pretty rare, but they do have a step out of it type of animation.
I would love to have that be one of the things that triggers one of the battles or whatever the hell it's called, where you like have to hit a button quickly, quicker than the other person.
Yeah, tackle.
That would be cool if like either you get taken down by that tackle or else you at least some of the time you trigger that animation and then you have to beat them to the punch, I guess. Cool. I honestly like those types of things in the game personally.
You like so you're a fan of the tackle battles?
Yeah, like it's just something unique, it's something different, and it adds a little bit to it too, where like if I hit my truck stick at the same time that you hit your hit stick, and our guys are relatively evenly matched. It's not just one or the other person wins. Like we get into a little battle, and then it's like if you have a better chemistry than me, you might win, or that kind of stuff. I like all that stuff personally.
That's really cool. Yeah, I mean it's okay. I thought I'd hate it more than I do, and especially with Battle Ready, it's not so bad.
Yeah, you can just mash that A button.
Exactly, a high stiff arm and with Battle Ready. But let's move on to the next one.
Dude, there's some hugely important ones. We got to skip over some of these crap ones that no one cares about.
Yes.
They fixed the issue with have you ever seen that? The quarterback couldn't get a tackle after throwing an interception. I've gotten pick sixes based off this. Like the quarterback's running at me, and I'm like, well, you can't do shit, so I'll just run right back at him.
Like, yeah. It's like, you trying to avoid contact. No, I'm gonna come right at you. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. Just cower in fear.
I remember when I believe it was G Maya was streaming. I want to say it was G Maya was streaming, and I think Rex was in the stream. Or else it was either G Maya or else it was Gaming Powerhouse. It was one of the two of them was streaming, and Rex was in the chat, and that happened, and they just lost it. And I remember losing my mind from laughter because they were so pissed about it. You know how both those guys are.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. Stuff, so. I could just see it. I know Rex specifically mentioned Gaming Powerhouse today in the Mutt cast that they talked about this patch at, and he's like it. He said on Twitter, it's all. What did he say? He said it's like job's not done until the most bitter person in the community is happy. So he definitely listens to GPH and Gmaya.
Damn, that's a lot. That's a shot. Call him bitter.
Well, I don't know if bitter is the right word. That's my words. I don't remember the exact words.
That's me.
Let me look it up.
That wasn't a quote. That wasn't
out here pleasing bitter people. That's not how that works. People who are bitter are just bitter forever.
Let me find the actual one.
But either way, though, I mean, I think the point that he's making is, he wants to satisfy
keep grinding.
The harshest.
Here it is.
The most negative customer.
Yeah.
Here it is. Yeah, it's a mindset thing. The way I see it is we are only as good as our least satisfied customer, is Rex's words.
Those guys are not the least satisfied customers. The least satisfied customers are the people that snap their game in half, which Gaming Powerhouse did do, but he had a backup copy, so that was kind of a sham video, but...
It's all about that clickbait. All right, moving on. Fixed an issue where the user drop-down banner was precluding player stat drop-downs. I don't care about that.
No, that was the banner stuff. Skip it.
Yeah. Removed user drop-down banners for that's more banner stuff. Who cares? Yeah. Fixed a bug where a safety banner, that doesn't matter. Fixed a griefing tactics where offense could trigger infinite offside penalties to extend the game. Now, I got a story about this one. This is it happened to Embry the Ghost. I don't know if you know Embry. I think Texas just played a game against Embry.
I know.
Yeah, and Kliquids knows him. So what happened, he was streaming one day during the day. I think it was Madden 16 even. And on the Mutt subreddit, somebody's like, Embry's been playing this game for 2 hours because this guy keeps doing this tactic. So the EA guy on the subreddit saw that, and he went over into the stream, got the guy's gamer tag, and then kicked him from the servers. So nice. he booted him from the game, which I thought was really cool to save Embry the harassment of the next 2 hours in his game. Yeah.
Honestly, dude, I would have quit. Like, I would just let the guy, if he's gonna be that much of a savage, just quit. Like,
At that
Yeah, but
point,
then
you
give
can
it
though.
You can't give in to terrorists.
Yeah, you let
Like,
it. Yeah,
I know, but like at the end of the day, I'm just trying to have fun. Like, Embry's not a competitive player, right?
He's pretty competitive.
When I say competitive, I mean like he's not trying to qualify. They didn't
Oh,
really
no.
even have the tournaments last year. In that case, I would definitely like try and go for the win. But if I'm just trying to have fun, like screw it, I don't care, man. I'll
Yeah.
just quit.
Okay, that's fair enough. Texas, what would you do?
it depends on what game I'm in. That's all it comes down to. If I was
Well,
in
I
my
would-
Super Bowl, I'm like, nah. Like for that Laura Malloy, I'd have been there till 7:00 in the morning, man. We gonna go all night. Like, I'm not playing this again. I've been grinding this all week, man. I'm doing this until I get it.
I would
But, like-
definitely be recording my screen, and I would definitely make some tweets with some 4-letter words at EA and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I would probably still quit.
You set a live stream up and you just let that shit sit there. That's all you do. You set a live stream up and you just sit there until he
Pretty much.
leaves. That's all you gotta
Pretty
do.
much.
Dang.
I did. So, did you guys see the video? Well, actually, Sly put it out, so maybe you guys did, about the guy being able to do that glitch. You can hand people losses. It's not 100%, but you can do the disconnect glitch now. They didn't patch it, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I don't know how you can patch it though, 'cause I saw what that guy was doing with the controller. I'm like, yo, it's like a Mortal Kombat cheat code. Like it was crazy. Like he was inputting some things to get like Liu Kang with like fire feet. Like I didn't understand what was going on. And so I'm like, yo, this is what you got to do to get somebody out of a game. And I didn't understand it because like he was matching A. I'm like, how come the game's not starting? I didn't know. It was weird. Like, and I don't know how they can patch that. All they can do is just ban the person that does that.
Yeah, hopefully they get really tough on bans for stuff like that. That guy actually ended up. He was banned though.
I actually
that guy-
saw just before we started. Matt Marcotte was tweeting. Did you see what he was tweeting?
No, I didn't see it.
He maybe we'll have to talk about this. Let me just quick read it. I'm gonna scroll down and find what he wrote. He said, "Serious. If anyone would like to quote unquote come clean and make my job easier, you have about 36 hours. My door is open. Madden League Ops at EA.com."
Why?
I don't know. I think it has to do with, and then a whole bunch of the competitive players like Joke and a couple other people were tweeting like, and Serious Mo, a couple of those guys were tweeting about how, you know, this is going to be, you know, a big thing. They're going to be, don't book your tickets yet, guys, like that kind of a thing. I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, I will say I got a big issue with Joke. You know, he's the one that was tweeting about how people had him blocked so they didn't have to match up with him. And then Marcotte, who's, you know, the competitive scene guy, he took off the ability to block players on Xbox One.
Yeah, I remember
and so
you
now,
talking about that. Yeah.
now Joke is complaining about people doing this glitch to him, and he's getting all these glitches. And I'm like, oh, really? Because there was a solution to not have to play these guys again, to not have to do against these the field goal blockers. But you led the charge at getting that removed out of the game. Now he's complaining about people doing shitty things to him. I'm like, God damn it, we had the solution, then you got rid of it. You can't have it both ways, and it's just so frustrating to see that, and them not to go back to the blocking on Xbox One.
That is kind of crazy. He fucking advocated for this, and then it affected him. Like, I want this gone too. But he could have
know
had
what
it done
sucks,
himself
though?
originally. Oh my.
What sucks though is that he's right. Honest to God, you should not have to deal with either of those two things. You're right that was a solution to the problem, but I mean, both of those things are still problems.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the ideal solution. You make them not be able to block people in salary cap mode, the competitive mode, or ranked DC. But for head-to-head online MUT, when the general population, 99% of the MUT or the Madden populations just wants to have a good online game, we're not qualifying for tournaments, but you get these crappy players that you play against, the ones that swerve you, the ones that field goal block you, the ones that DC glitch you, and you can't block them. You got to be matched up against them again. I was so pissed after I blocked a field goal. After the guy, with a couple seconds left in the fourth quarter, he blocked a field goal. I ended up losing an OT when he got the ball back, and I matched up with him the next game. I was so out of my mind. I was so pissed having to come and play him again. It seems like that's an easier solution unless it's just not possible for EA based on their online servers or whatever. Because did you guys hear why we had all these issues with the drops on the MUTcast?
I didn't
Because
listen to it at all.
because their game runs at like 25 frames per second, and to make their game look 30 frames per second, they had like a multiplier on it. So when the pass was going out to these like your receiver, the frame dropped from when he was supposed to catch the ball. So like because it's like it sounds like you get it.
Roughly what 20% of the frames were getting dropped.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it skipped basically.
Well, okay.
Yeah. But just to make it go up to 30 frames per second to make the game feel like that.
But I thought wouldn't that affect gameplay? How does that affect player animations?
Well, because the frame that guy was supposed to catch the ball in never happened.
Oh, so it's like a DVD when it's on skip. Like when it's
maybe
up.
they should make their game fucking higher frames per second. Like.
What they did is just take out that multiplier. I guess what's the weirdest thing is the gameplay guys didn't know that multiplier was in the game for their servers. So they had a hell of a time finding out what was causing it, and it was something that nobody in their whole shop knew about, which is
somebody snuck that in and just left it there.
Yeah.
I wonder who got fired recently that put that in the game. It was like they're gonna have a fun time finding this. That's probably what happened there, because like that's crazy. None of you guys know what's going on.
Some bitter ex-employee.
Yeah, like you just put something in the game. It just like broke it for everybody. Like they're gonna have a fun time fixing this. That's probably why it took them forever, because they couldn't figure out what was going on. So I wonder if they had like rebuild the game from like not rebuild it, but probably go through each piece of coding and like, okay, why is this doing this? What's this trigger? That sounds like an awful job, but I couldn't do that. Like I wonder how many hours they spent, man. I mean, I'm glad they fixed it. I'm glad they addressed it and fixed it, because that shit was causing some headaches to people playing this game.
So hard. You're right, Texas.
That's a very, very like illuminating thing I just said there. Like nobody knows that. Like coding's hard, people. That's from Texas. I said that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's gonna be one of those motivational posters. Coding's hard, man.
They also they fixed some zone coverage adjustments to improve against C routes, which it's nice. It was overpowered when the wide side of the field had a tight end on it. So they changed the, what the hell was it, curl flat, the light blues, I think, to play them better. So that's nice. So you won't see a lot of C routes, as much C routes anymore.
I'm really happy about that.
I think I remember somebody, I think it was wasn't Matster talking about how Skimbo's offense is pretty much based on those C routes?
I think, yeah, he may have mentioned that, yeah. Which is, I mean, that's the thing in Madden. You just find something overpowered, base your offense around it, and then maybe have a few variations, and you can drive down the field pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it works for him, but it's not like he's not going to figure something else out, but
yeah.
But yeah, that'll be. I think it's kind of interesting that a lot of these are so big. You know, a lot of these changes are so important, and it's coming out right before another tournament.
Yeah, before the club series.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: they had a February patch last year too.
True.
And there wasn't. Yeah.
No, and that's the thing. I appreciate all the patches. I mean, some people complain about them, but I actually like the fact that they're attempting at least to fix stuff.
Me too. Yeah, me too. And Rex mentioned something really interesting. I don't know how much you guys play and think about the meta of Madden. So Rex went into detail about like he doesn't want, because we play this game all year round. We make YouTube videos and whatnot. He said we don't want people going against the same stuff when the game launches as they have to go through in February and June. He doesn't want them playing like having to stop the same routes, having to stop the same concepts all year. So changing these things like the C route helps adapt players to have to do something new. It helps the ebook guys have to come up with new schemes to move the ball and whatnot. So it kind of like revitalizes the game, which I think is pretty awesome.
Or it helps them sell more ebooks. Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they're not unhappy about having to sell more ebooks. Trust me.
Not at all. And it's kind of cool. Like ideally, in my ideal world, it's balanced. Like there's gonna be like when the game launched, counters and stretches were averaging 9 to 10 yards per play, which is overpowered. Like those things should average 4 to 5, and inside zones should average 4 to 5 or so. And then the passes, like there'll be ones that average like 10 yards per play. Ideally, all the passes average just slightly over what the NFL averages, and the runs do the same. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Like, do you think there's always going to be something overpowered in Madden, Kliquid?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the problem is that we've talked about this so many times, and everybody talks about it. unless you have 11 user-controlled players on defense and offense, like there's always going to be a way to exploit the AI. And so, yeah, I don't think it's like necessarily even a big problem. I mean, there's always going to be some sort of stuff that's overpowered, but yeah, I mean, if they're seeing super extreme outliers where one play is, 30 yards average and another play is 2 yards average and they're both passing plays, well, then maybe we should address those things, I guess.
Yeah. Unless we get Skynet on the scene and they could take over that AI.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
Yeah. So, Texas, what do you think?
When
about
a game
balancing
is
plays?
being made by humans, like you're always gonna have one balance of stuff because you don't know how this is going. Like they put stuff in the game, they can test it all, but when it gets into a pro's hands, they can just find out that one adjustment that makes it overpowered. Yeah. So like they can do all that. They can do all the like the testing, like I said, but like your price is always going to be unbalanced, and they just have to make the adjustments after the fact, which I'm cool with. Like that's why I'm glad they have like that play, like the previous play, and like the community averages on stuff, so you can see what works, and they can go ahead and get the information from that, and then make the adjustments accordingly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I know they also said they're testing for Madden 18 right now. They're shifting into the new game pretty extensively. We won't get many more of these big patches or any more of these big patches. Am I gonna see you two in Florida helping out the Madden devs anytime soon?
What kind of question?
Wait, is that a joke?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know what I look like, so I mean, I can probably get down there and get a disguise.
Yeah, you won't stick out like a sore thumb with your hair. Like, what do you do?
I can cut the hair, dog. I mean, once I cut the hair, I'm just a regular black dude. So we can make this. I can cut it off and give it to you. You can wear it as a wig. Go down there, have some fun. Because that's what I want to do. I do want to invade one of these EA events and just like be undercover.
Dude, if I went there, I would be like wearing my coin sponsor shirt, trying to get more money and shit. Like it would be bad, to be honest with you.
Like, I wouldn't mind helping them like with the testing though. That'd be kind of cool. Playing a game.
Honestly, dude, like I don't understand why somebody like you, Fox, isn't able to go down there.
What do you mean?
I know why.
I mean, just because like you go in and you test things in the game and show what the problem is in the game. You don't do any sort of coin spot. Like everything that you do is pretty much by the books.
Yeah.
So why not reach out to somebody like you? Yeah, you don't have 100,000 subs on YouTube, but you've got a decent following on YouTube. You stream regularly, everything like that.
All right.
This is my calling card. This is me telling EA they need to bring you down.
All right, listen real quick.
But I know you won't go because you don't want to show your face anymore.
All right. Who else did all those things that didn't get any type of love who was now promoting coins?
Fucking everybody?
No.
Kliquid?
Cullenberger.
Who?
Cullenberger.
Oh, yeah.
He did all those things, had a huge channel, nothing. It's all about relationships, big dog, all about relationships. And so,
yeah,
like, I love Fox, too. Fox probably deserves to be doing the testing, kind of like what Swami's doing as well. But it's all about the relationships you build. And, I mean, Fox are probably building them because Fox is he's a very likable animal. So people like animals, and you can probably find the right person to get into contact with and get out there to these events. But
I'm good.
Cullenberger,
Foxes don't do well on plays.
But hey, they got buses, trains. You can just walk there. Foxes are nomads, aren't they?
I don't know enough about foxes to say. Hey, so Texas, can't you just go like you said? Just go down there and tell them that you're Jo or something. Go undercover. I like that.
Yeah, I can make it happen, man. They probably
just claim that you're QJB. See what they like.
Yo, it's QJB at the door. Let them in.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, yeah, it's QJB. What's your first name? Q.
Yeah. Q. Last name B, middle name J.
JB.
Oh, you like McDonald's? That's all you need, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
sellout
exactly.
ads.
Dude, that was a great sellout. Like people thought that I was shitting on him, but I was like, that is freaking great. I love it. The McDonald's sellout. That's like next level sellout. I love it.
That's a big company. That's a good one. All right, there's another couple other ones. Fixed CPU punters kicking high into the wind, whatever. Fixed a short delay that could rarely occur when attempting to snap the ball. That's happened to me. I'm glad it's fixed.
Fixed
I don't know
that?
if you guys have any opinions on these.
So I like that actually because when you're making audible, because I don't like the conductor, but even with conductor quarterbacks, like you would get the same experience where you would make the adjustments and you just be able to sit there like 5 seconds before you hike the ball. Now I never got delayed game because of this, but it did kind of like annoy me. So I'm kind of glad that they fixed that.
let the defense set up their nano on you.
Yeah.
Okay, not a nano. Don't roast me in the comments, guys. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one thing I noticed that's the difference between online players and the competitive players. All the like when I watch the tournaments, the competitive players, they take their time on offense, whereas like online guys they try and quick snap you. Like the competitive players all expect their opponents to have their edge heat and nano set up by the time they make it to line of scrimmage. So them quick snapping doesn't really help.
True.
Against the high end players. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah, I mean those guys are just naturally going to be faster at setting them up. I mean, you could certainly still set those things up against somebody that's quick snapping. So,
yeah.
But
okay, so we talked about the precision dive over the top. Was that on here or was that right before?
Yeah, it's on
right
there.
Right before. We didn't talk about it on the podcast.
Okay, we didn't.
Yeah.
So the precision dive over the top, the Jimmy Graham dive, they increased the tier requirements to perform the elite version of that mechanic. And they don't allow tight ends to do it anymore. What do you guys think of that, Texas?
What is the tier like? What's the high like? So who? Like,
So it used to be 90 jumping.
yeah. So anybody 9 jump, you can jump from basically there to the end zone, from the 3-yard line to the end zone with one fell swoop. But Jimmy Graham did it because he was 6'7", so it's much easier to score.
Yeah.
Okay. So now tight ends can't do it. And you can't get receivers back there. There's no fullback that can. So I mean, I'm kind of glad they fixed it. It was if you watch the Madden Bowl. Greg Olson, who was commentating when I'm not too sure who did that. It might have been Problem. It might have been the guy before him. He wanted to call bullshit so badly, but he was in the middle of a commentating. He couldn't do that. He was in like a family-friendly environment. So I'm kind of glad he did it because, like as I said on like last week's podcast, if I was a casual, I'm not playing this damn game if somebody can do that. So I'm kind of glad they did that. They fixed it because now it's going to probably even the playing field. You can't just get an automatic 2 points no more.
Right. Yeah, I definitely thought that was something that obviously needed to be fixed. I mean, I don't blame the guys for exploiting the problems in games. When they're at a competitive level, like, your job is basically to find the exploitations and exploit them. So,
but how far do we go with the exploits, though? We don't like guys that DC glitch. That's an exploit.
No. I mean, like, in person, when they're there. Obviously, you're not going to be DC glitching somebody on TV.
That would be fucking sweet.
That would be hilarious if that
would
happened.
be great.
Oh,
you have to win.
I actually, now that you say that, I kind of want that to happen.
I'm sure they get disqualified right on the spot, but
yeah, I know. But I mean, like, I mean, I understand. I definitely don't like that stuff being in the game, but like I said, it's their job basically to find the things that work in a game. They're playing for money, man. Like, I don't care. Dude, if it meant that I ran QB sneak every single play, but it guaranteed that I pick up 3 yards every single time, I would run QB sneak every single play, and I would pick up my $75,000 and leave. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. It's for the money. It's not your problem that the game's broken.
Exactly.
It's just kind of weird that we have these weird rules that we have in place where we want our guys to care so much they find exploits, but they don't want to go too far and find an exploit that can get them wins. That's kind of weird to me. It's kind of like how these athletes play with a broken finger, play with a torn meniscus, but don't care enough to use HGH. It's kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
It is a very fine line, and we could talk all day about that line in sports and stuff. Yeah. It just But let's move on here. A variety of pass block targeting issues resolved. I'm gonna talk because I've played 5 games with people still sending edge pressure and even not sending edge pressure. Somebody shifted their D line on me in like a dime formation. I don't know what they did, but they came screaming through the B gap without any extra rushers and like.
Fun.
So I was like, how the hell did I get hit there? And it's people like they didn't get nano detected, they didn't get anything, and the people on stream were like, no, your left tackle just I don't know, buzzed out or whatever. He just said, nah, he's not mine. So I think there's a lot of issues popping up here with pass blocking. We're going to get nanos and edge pressure. And edge pressure still works perfectly. My 3-3-5 works. The nickel 2 works. It's just easier to block is what I've heard. You can use a tight end to block it now. Or you could always use one. But so we'll see. It's going to be just as bad in 2 weeks' time. They smash a few new ones are found. What do you think, Texas?
I don't know what they can do to improve the linemen, like improve the blocking. Because really, if you can tell your linemen who to get, like that probably would fix it. But they don't have that ability yet because they can't even do that on defense, where you would have like these these matchup assignments. Because sometimes you see these guys on offense who will put their best receiver in the slot while you're in nickel. So it'll be Randy Moss against a linebacker because they get a mismatch. Like, they don't have the capability where you can, like, tell your cornerback to follow this man. It could all be fixed if they just, like, maybe in the future give us technology enough so we can, like, tell him he's going to be sending pressure from this way. I need you to pick up that guy. Because in the NFL, guys will identify who's coming and who they're going to pick up.
Yeah.
And we don't have that over in Madden. So
I had a little bit of a heated debate today.
Saw that.
Yeah.
I missed it. Explain what happened. I want to hear what happened about this.
So this was with, who the fuck was it even with? Damn it. Like, I feel like an idiot right now for not remembering.
It's all good, man. Sometimes
I don't mean to sound like I'm not trying to roast him. Swear to God, I'm really not. Madden Universe? Okay. So basically, Clint Oldenburg was tweeting about, his usual stuff about how offensive line, you don't know how offensive line mechanics work, blah, 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 right? Even though, like, in real life, there's no effing way that any offensive lineman is just going to let a defensive tackle run right past them and hit the quarterback. Like, I don't care what they say. But their argument is, like, it's on the quarterback in the center to make the adjustments prior to the play, which, okay, I get that completely, and I completely agree. Yes, that is the main thing. However, one of the biggest issues that I have with this game is that your running backs, they have absolutely no difference if they have – If your running back head is 0 awareness, 0 play recognition, and 0 run block, they're going to pick up the blitz exactly the same as if they had 99 in all of those things. So when I say pick up the blitz, he's probably going to get run over, but he's going to get there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so, or else he's not going to get there. There's no difference in the ratings between these things. I think that's one of the major issues that I personally have with the whole thing. Your ratings for your players just do not matter when it comes to picking up blitzes in this game. And therefore, in my opinion, it's a game flaw. Mechanically, it's a game flaw because you can get the best possible player at the position and they're not going to perform any better. And I think that that's a problem, personally.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Texas, any thoughts?
With the blocking of the halfbacks and all that, just blocking in general, it's too inconsistent. It's not consistent enough for me to have any type of, like, security when I'm playing these games. Like, sometimes I'm skittish in the pocket. I know my guys aren't going to block anybody, and sometimes I get huge runs because they just block crazy. It's not consistent enough for us to get a good indication. But he is true what he's saying about, like, the halfback not having high awareness. But that's also with the linemen too. Like, you have 0 awareness and still block somebody. So.
Well, we were talking specifically about halfbacks because Savage Madden posted a video, or he did like one of the Twitter videos, right, with like his cell phone or whatever. And basically what he was showing in the video was that he blocked 7 players. He blocked all of his offensive linemen and the running back and the tight end. And his opponent, or I don't know if he was setting it up or whatever, but they sent 3 off the left edge and they got through untouched. Or the cornerback got through untouched, even though he blocked 7. And my point was, okay, so the halfback was to the right of the quarterback in the shotgun, right? My point was, a smart halfback is going to realize that no one's coming from the right side at all, and he might shift over and get there prior to when the quarterback gets hit, right? Now, these guys were arguing basically that that's not his assignment, so he will never, ever do that in real life. And I just disagree, personally. I think that intelligent pass blocking running backs are more likely to do that than, say, your dumb plotting guy that's, a rookie that doesn't have any idea what he's doing in pass protection kind of a thing. That's just
I kind of agree too, though, because the running back is not going to do that if the quarterback tells him to get over there. Some of them, you do see cases where a halfback will automatically go over there and block and not sell the play action or whatever. But typically, your running back has to be told what to do. But that also can extend to you can't tell your lineman what to do. Like, you can't tell these motherfuckers they're gonna come off this left side with 3 people. How about left guard drop back, get this one? It's like, you can't, like, it's kind of weird. So it's like it can't be out here saying that he's never gonna do that because. I mean, it can happen, but you shouldn't be forced to make these adjustments at all the damn time when it should be something so simple.
Yeah, well, one of the things that D-Money mentioned on Twitter after that, he suggested, and I think you kind of mentioned this a little bit, it would be great if we could, at least for our tight ends and running backs and fullbacks and, not our offensive line. It would be great with offensive line too, but just be able to say, I want you to block this specific player on the defense. Like, I can select my halfback out of the backfield and say, okay, we know for a fact that this guy's sending this blitz. off the edge with his cornerback. So I want my halfback to go over there and pick up that guy, or at least run into him, you know? And we just don't have any mechanic that does that.
We could, though. Maybe if they drop, a Peyton Manning with like the like adjustment chemistry.
Yeah, like the general chemistry or
Yeah,
something
you
like
make
that,
these-
like
make
field
these-
general.
Yeah.
They could even get it sponsored by the General. Perfect EA move.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be kind
It
of cool.
really
'Cause
is.
I would love to be able to just be like, if a guy does send a different type of play at you, then your lineman obviously will get beat. But if you know what's coming, you can't stop it. It's kind of annoying. Like,
Yes, that's one of the biggest things that I have is I just think to like the people that are playing casually, and they run into these people that just send these repulsive blitzes at them, and it's like, dude, I don't want to play. That will ruin the game for me if I was somebody that's been playing for like 2 weeks or whatever, and I just run into these people that are running these blitzes that I have no idea how to counter. That's super frustrating. Even though I know it's coming every single time, and I'm like trying my best, I'm putting my running back over there, and he's not blocking, and I'm doing all these things that I would normally think would work, and they don't. That ruins the experience for the casual player, and honestly, that's EA's biggest audience.
Yep. Yeah. It's. Do you think they cater too much to the competitive scene?
If I say that, I'm gonna get roasted by people in the competitive scene. So
Well, why don't-
I don't think that at all.
He's wink quotation marks.
No, to some extent, I do. But I mean, obviously, there are a lot of things that were way too much towards the casual player. The aggressive catches last year, for example. That was way too much in the favor of the casual player. But there just needs to be easier mechanics for people to figure out, in my opinion, for blocking specifically.
Let me counter that with the aggressive catch. I hear this argument a lot, and it's okay. So those guys that like to send those nano blitzes, like Problem in the championship, sent his looping cover 3 blitz 100% of the game, and people are like, oh, he changed up the coverages underneath. Still, he played a 3-man shell, and he just got torched with aggressive catching. How do you stop the aggressive catching? By putting a man up on that guy, and by stopping it through that. It was his fault. It was his fault for leaving
last year, though.
It was his fault for leaving Jalen Ramsey. Who the hell was it? Like Golden Ticket Gronk. Golden Ticket Mike Evans. Yeah. It's Problem's fault for not adjusting to that. And then people complain because their nanos get aggressive caught over. Well, now we see cover 2 and swerving because the aggressive catch just doesn't work down the field. Why is now cover 3 is basically out of the game because swerve works so well against it? But like that was the counter to nanos, was to block and chuck it deep to Randy Moss one-on-one or Mike Evans last year, Kelvin Johnson last year. I think we swung too much the other way, where aggressive catches don't really work at all with the swap button this year. So there's no reason to go with those high-end corners. So the players like Problem can get away with Jalen Ramsey from last year on his team.
I agree. But I guess my point was last year they swung it way too far in the favor of the casual player with the aggressive catch just being so overpowered. I mean, literally, you could throw it into triple coverage and come down with it.
Okay, but that only happens like 1 out of 100 times.
Last year?
Yeah, like
nah.
I
Not
did
when it
not
first
have
came out, dude.
I think people way overblow the aggressive catch. Like I did not have nearly as much issue. Like it happened to me, and you get frustrated when it happens one-on-one. But you're like, okay, well, they beat me in aggressive catch. That happens in the NFL.
I have a video where Hakeem Nicks, a silver wide receiver, mossed 5 of my defensive players that were all standing around him. I mean, granted, like you said, it's a one-time thing, but it was ridiculous either way.
Yeah, my issue with aggressive catch was people weren't running in situations that made sense, and the receivers didn't get injured after coming down with these stupid catches.
Yeah, and there was
the
SWAT mechanic. I feel like is good. I remember in it's so funny because you guys say some stuff that like I remember playing Madden in like Madden 2006, and some of the stuff that was in the game then is not in the game now, and it would be such an easy thing to use. Like, for example, you mentioned the assigning a defensive player to a wide receiver. That stuff was in like Madden 06. And like the SWAT thing was not like it is now, where the ball gets there and you like press the square button or the X button on Xbox and you will like jam the ball out of the receiver's hands. What your guy would do is literally jump up, and you had to time it, and you had to hit it at the right time to actually literally like swat the ball away before it even got to the receiver.
Yeah.
And that was like a different mechanic, obviously, and I don't know that it would be done the same now, but I feel like there's so many things that they used to have in the game that were good, and then they just took them away, and then, a year or two from now, they'll bring it back, and they'll be like, oh, look at this brand new feature. We're EA.
Yeah. They've had that criticism in the past. I know specifically with some of it, it just breaks the game. Like that matchup stuff, they say they wanted to get it in the game for the last few years. It just, I don't know, somehow it breaks their, defensive formations somehow. I don't know the exact reason for it, but that's what they
How
said.
would it break the
just,
formations?
they've tried
though?
it. They've tried it and it just doesn't work.
Because
I
I'm trying to
actually
think,
remember-
for example, how would it break the formation? Because if you come out of nickel, and you could probably do it for the formation as well. Maybe just have it for formation specifically. Then, there's counters a way around it. I don't like the excuse that we can't do it because it is. Figure out a way.
I remember back then it actually did screw up from time to time. Like you would have, like, say for example, your nickel corner, whoever it was, your number 3 corner. I wanted him on the number 2 wide receiver. There would be times where he would be lined up in the slot and he would be outside covering the number 2 wide receiver on the opposite side of the field.
Yeah.
So like. But he would be lined up across from him, like basically like you've seen people do cross man this year. That's basically what it was, but in like Madden 06. So I mean, it definitely caused problems, but for the most part, I think it was okay. I don't know.
Okay. No, well, that makes sense.
I'm not a big fan of the excuse thing. You're a multi-million-dollar company. Figure out a way.
Yeah, and I always go back to that too. Like, freaking hire some more people.
Yeah.
You rich motherfuckers. Like.
So if they bring back team play, you gonna criticize them for bringing back something that we already had in the game, Kliquid?
I mean, not criticize them. I'm just gonna say that it should have never been out of the game in the first place because it shouldn't have.
Can never please you, Kliquid, can we?
Well, I mean, I would be happy for it being back, but I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, great job, EA."
I can't wait till it comes back in the game where you get paid to play. It's gonna be fucking draft champion tickets or some shit.
Yeah. Hey, Kliquid, what would make you say those words? Great job, EA.
Maybe if they gave me some of that money. No, I don't know. Every time that they sell a pack, 1 cent goes to Kliquid's bank account. I'll be like, damn, EA is great. No, I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they could that they've already done that I said great job about, to be honest with you. So,
okay.
I mean, it's not like I just hate everything that they do by any means. Like I said earlier, I love the fact that they're putting out as many patches as they are. Yeah, sometimes it screws things up, but I think overall what they're attempting to do is address flaws that would have previously gone completely unaddressed in previous years.
Yeah. Which is nice. The constant patching. Yeah, I like that. I agree. All right. Moving on, we're not even through these. We're not even halfway through the patch notes.
We'll skip through some of the shitty ones. Like,
yeah,
most of those
okay,
things are trash.
the encroachment bug, that kind of sucked, but glad that's fixed.
Yeah, that was for hurry up offense. That's been in since the beginning of the game, and they should have fixed that right away. But
yeah, it was weird because they fixed it in 16, then it came back in 17.
One of those legacy issues right there.
That copy and paste though.
Yeah, that's gonna be a Madden 18. You know that right off the gate.
Yep.
Yeah, well, because like they're switching to the new engine,
Frostbite.
the Frostbite, but they're just gonna copy over a lot of the base code, so it's not gonna be like a whole new game.
Right.
Defenders. Okay, addressed a rare issue where defenders could get into a state where they could not be blocked. This helps the wide receivers blocking downfield. I've seen some people say this has been addressed. I tried to do some improvised screens to get my wide receivers to block defenders tonight. Yeah. Didn't really work that well.
Yeah, I don't think that was.
But I haven't labbed it.
I don't think that was due to the players not being able to be blocked. I think that was just due to the wide receivers or whoever it is not being set up to block for whatever reason. I think it's kind of it's the opposite.
Well, it's because they get into like a certain like coding state where they're like, all right, now we're in the tackling state, and they can't be blocked in that state, and so the receivers would just look for other people.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen that with like wheel routes and things like that, obviously.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's kind of weird though. I never experienced like receivers not really blocking downfield. Like of course, sometimes you throw a drag route and the dude's right there and misses a guy. But I've been getting pretty lucky. My guy's blocking before the patch. This is interesting.
Huh?
Yeah. Well, it's game changing.
Well, because like last year, Embry, like I talked about before, Embry the Ghost, he a lot of his offense was improvised screens one way or the other, and then have his wide receivers that he'd like do drag routes from the other side of the field, block up field for him. He tried that in 17, doesn't work. So hopefully this helps bring that improvised screen back. All right, it fixed an issue with the turning. Oh, did you want to say something?
No, I was gonna say I'm kind of. It's cool they fixed it because in real life receivers just don't run by anybody. They try to block at least, or at least fake that they're going to try to block somebody. So
it looks really trash.
Yeah,
it looks really trash when they're on NFL Network doing a live tournament and the wide receiver just runs right by the guy.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of cool to make the game seem more realistic in that aspect. So I'm here for it.
Nice.
Next thing.
All right, this was a CFM thing with pass accuracy slider to 0 wouldn't have any impact, so we'll skip it. Fixed the turbo blitz off the edge that was specific to players in a 4-point stance. I don't know if you guys ever ran against it. I only saw videos of it. Yeah. No.
I've never seen that.
Okay, I guess it wasn't that big of a thing in the meta. So
when they say a turbo blitz, though, so the terminology is always interesting to me because what I considered to be a quote unquote nano blitz for a long time, people would say is not a nano blitz, right? Like because they're just sending edge heat or they're just sending gap heat or whatever. That's not a quote-unquote nano blitz because in the past, a nano blitz would have been a guy basically like literally your quarterback steps back and he's hit immediately. That would have been a nano blitz, right? And a turbo blitz would in the past have been considered, I believe, you have to be user controlling the player for it to be determined to be a turbo blitz, correct?
That's what this one is.
That's
that is correct.
Oh, that is the speed boost thing where they time the snap basically without jump to snap and they just come through your gap. Okay, that's what that is. Okay, so they fixed that.
Yeah, cool. The one going around the edge. Yeah, I saw.
Was that an issue?
Yeah, a couple. There some wide blitzes happened. I saw that. It's crazy. I saw it on the subreddit. Somebody posted a video of it. It was pretty crazy.
Okay. Seems to be kind of AIDS to me, but I'm glad that they fixed it.
Yeah,
because usually if somebody's doing that, you just try to get them like to jump early, then you just hike the ball. Like, but I guess people weren't able to do that, so they had to fix it.
Yeah. I think it maybe didn't take over the meta because you had to user that guy, and it could be blocked if you had a tight end on that side. It would make it harder for that guy to get around. So that's why it didn't really become a huge thing, but. Fixed an issue where addressed an issue where DB in press coverage would not be able to defend a player locked wide receiver hot routed to a smoke screen. Do you guys ever see this?
No, I have not.
I don't think so.
So player lock last year was a good way of. What's up?
I've never seen somebody run a smoke screen other than so they were hot route to a smoke screen.
Yeah, and they player lock on that wide receiver. So my buddy Worms owned at Worms on the subreddit. This was he said this offense was going to win him the Madden challenge, this next one, and they patched it against him. I don't know how they found out. He's like it's like I saw nobody run this except he said he ran it, and I guess somebody from the competitive community must have seen him run it on a salary cap and reported it. So he got his offense.
He killed it. He messed his own self up.
Exactly. He should have gone to the freaking tournament and beat the shit out of everybody and then shit on him and left.
I bet there was a joke that snitched on him too, man. You play Joke?
He's on PS4. No, he didn't.
I'm still blaming Joke. Snitching ass dude, man. Hashtag stop the snitching 2017.
No. Stop the snitching 2017.
Dang, you be out here tattling on people, man.
I
didn't see video of this though. I think it's pretty cool. So he patched. They put out a patch for one dude.
Essentially.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Yo, that dude. I'm gonna put that in my Twitter bio. EA patched the game because I almost broke it. That's crazy.
Before you gotta have that certain relationship, and then you get shit done, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just something that's funny. Last year you could player lock to beat the Mike Scrape blitz was a good way of beating that because the CPU always makes the correct read, especially against quick pressure like that. So it was a good way of beating that quick blitz. All right, moving on to stability. Tuned a variety of issues related to community feedback that lower-rated offensive line was too effective against elite defensive linemen. This change will also make elite O-line more effective against lower-rated D-line. Kliquid.
Yeah, this is potentially game-changing, right? Like completely game-changing because you watch the salary cap tournament. I mentioned this in a video that I made. I think everybody that was in the finals that was there was running an all-bronze offensive line. I'm pretty sure.
Well, the funny thing is, we didn't know because EA only showed the playmakers. They didn't show people's. They only advertised. They didn't show like the full lineups. It was kind of funny.
True. I mean, obviously, but I think the reason for that was pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody there had an all-bronze offensive line, or at least majority bronze offensive line. And I think, depending on how this interacts, it could be a complete flip. You could see everybody running elite offensive line. for the next tournament, potentially.
Did they address what they made better about it? Like, are they going to start blocking better, less block sheds, more block sheds? I want to know. Like, did they or is something we have to do testing on to find out?
They did talk about it on the MUTCast, and there was a good summation of it on the subreddit. I'll see if I can't link it to you guys here in chat when I find it. But basically, so players that have like a 15-plus difference on like skill moves, like block shed versus run block, or finesse and power move versus pass block, that's going to cause like those are going to be like insta sheds almost. There used to be a timer that there was a timer between the amount of time those guys got engaged and the shed happens. They got rid of that timer, so these things it's gonna be basically destroying them. Which, I mean, it doesn't really change too much for us playing regular head to head because we always had decent offensive linemen, but it's gonna really change salary cap, like you guys said.
How about for draft champions? Because you get your base gold offensive line, but like some of those guys are going to have low 80s for a run block. You know, and if I get Reggie White and I've got just a ridiculous block shed, am I just gonna shit on them automatically every single play?
Essentially, I think
that sounds like it won't be AIDS. Like,
just got to run away from Reggie White. I mean, he would shit on bronze people, like he would shit on lower end guys in the real life too.
Well, of course, but I mean, when you play draft champions, you don't really get to choose the players that you get, you know? So, like, if I only get 2 offensive linemen the whole time, then all the guy has to do is take Reggie White and put him where my shitty offensive linemen are.
That's exactly what the Eagles and the Packers did in real life.
Yeah, of course.
And then you can put your good lineman where he is.
In real life, they wouldn't just, like, Reggie White couldn't just freaking immediately insta-shed everybody. Like, you're saying that if he's 15 or higher, he's just going to insta-shed every play.
Let me read this back. I think I don't know about that. See, I'm going to have to test that out.
Yeah, we got to test it. That's what I said in my video too. Like, we got to see what happens in these things. Like, if it really is just insta sheds every play, we could have some serious problems, in my opinion.
It might not be insta sheds every play, but with the what they're saying. All right, so here's a little summation. Before the patch, shed moves on defense were based on the shed move of the defender only. So bronze hole lineman or elite lineman wouldn't matter based on those insta sheds.
Damn, that sounds like something that I put in one of my videos and Clint Oldenburg said it wasn't true. That's crazy.
So now if you have an elite O-lineman, the shed timer has been increased, holding the block longer. So 89 to 90 finesse or power, they have a 5 or half a second shed timer. So I guess half a second it takes if you're over.
Shed.
Yeah. If you have a blocker with a higher rating than the defender, that will increase the shed timer based on ratings. So what's interesting to me is that all of our defensive linemen are better than all of our offensive linemen. You know what I mean? Like the top end guys. Like Reggie White's better than any offensive lineman. Yeah.
It's always been.
That's MUT ratings thing though, not gameplay necessarily.
Well, that's them trying to sell shit. Like, offensive linemen don't sell packs, big dog.
They really don't.
No.
Nobody gets wet or right guard.
No.
Which is kind of crazy, man, because like Tony Baselli, over his 8-year career in the NFL, gave up 15 sacks. And Madden, that dude get beat all the damn time. So, like, that's,
but he didn't have to go against Von Miller every
he
down.
He had to go against Simeon Rice and shit like that. I'm not too sure who played against him. I can probably go through the list of people he guarded. And,
but not every game, every down.
Yeah,
but still, 15 sacks in 8 years, man. That's impressive. I don't care who you go against.
And the Seattle Walter
Jones.
Yeah, there it is. He lit up like 1 in his career or something crazy like that. I had to look it up.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, but that's always been an issue. I mean, obviously, it like I said, this could be a huge difference, or it could really do essentially nothing. I mean, the problem with this that I've seen is most of the guys, at least at the competitive level, they're not really getting sacked by block sheds so much. They're typically getting sacked, if they do, by not setting the right protection for the heat that their opponent's sending off the edge. That's what I've seen, what I watched in the tournament. I could be wrong on that, but that's
Yeah.
what I remember seeing. Like, and especially in like the end of Madden 16 when Problem was playing Frankie, right? That's who he was playing.
Stiff.
Yeah, when he was playing
Stiff.
Stiff, yeah. And Stiff hit him with the same blitz like 3 plays in a row.
The DTA gap.
Yeah, and it just went straight through and killed him instantly every time. And it's like, that's the kind of thing that I think was killing Problem, not really the block shedding. So, to me, I'm not really sure that it's going to make a difference to the top-end players that much, but it could make a difference to everybody else.
Yeah, which I like fucking top-end players. This is good for me.
Yeah. It could be good, or it could be hard because, I don't know. You're obviously going to have to spend more on your offensive line.
Yes, but it also kind of sucks, too, because they don't match you up based off of a salary cap. They match you up based off of ELO. So now my Golden Gym squad is going to get beat a lot.
Yeah.
The matchups this year, when you start up the game, completely terrible.
Yeah.
I did a video on it.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
it is so bad.
It's going to be good for guys who are already playing the game, but guys that are basically getting into it, MUT's not the game for you. We recommend you play Draft Champions.
Right.
Just think of yourself in EA shoes. Why are you going to intimidate new players starting your game?
That's the thing. I don't have an answer to why they do some of this stuff. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to bully people out. Like, the new player experience is so terrible in MUT on online head-to-head. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I had a friend who was like, oh, like he saw that I was making Madden videos or whatever. And he was like, oh, yeah, I bought Madden. And then like a week later, he was like, yeah, I'm done playing Madden. I'm like, yeah,
Did
I
he
don't
get into
blame
MUT?
you. He's like, yeah, I went up against people and they just were destroying me immediately because they had a way better team and they knew all the cheesy stuff and there was nothing that I could do.
I mean, it's insane to me. In 16, when I started my bronze road to glory, I was going against silver, bronze, and gold squads. Like, the first elite squad I faced was like in pro second. Maybe I faced one in rookie first, but rookie second was gold squads max, which is crazy. And now the second game, I go against a guy with a top 3 of like a 99, 98, 98. It's silly. Anyways, all right, next thing. Different speeds for game modes. Did you guys that like Draft Champions was slower? That had to do with the online tick count. You know what I talked about earlier with the 25 versus 30.
Yeah.
Yes, addressed an issue where the user in an online game could disconnect, concede, and result for a crash for the opponent. Now that's one of the disconnect glitches, not the one that we just saw came out.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one on PS4. I didn't experience it over on Xbox, but I know PS4 users such as Berg and also Vic, if they're winning a game, their opponent would quit and they get the loss. And they kind of made it impossible for guys to grind for MUTMaster, grind for the Malloy, or do anything really because you just couldn't get a win. The opponent would get the loss, but you wouldn't get nothing out of it. So
that sucks.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad they finally addressed it. But again, that's been in the game forever. Berg switched systems because it's been in the game forever.
Wow.
So I don't know why. Like, was that having to do with the same things, the 25 thing, or was that just them just not knowing what caused the issue and took that long while to get it fixed?
I think maybe that's it. You know, I watched a YouTube video, and people complain about YouTubers, and YouTube videos like this are the reason I think they have a good grievance against us and our kind. This YouTuber, he was showing the pause glitch. He had 2 different versions of how to do it. He showed it, and he was telling people to take advantage of it. He said, you got to get your wins however you get them, so take advantage before it's patched. I'm like, what a scumbag. Like, telling people to pause glitch people and to take advantage of it before it gets patched. Like, I can see why people say Madden was better before YouTube.
Yeah, I can too. I mean, here's the thing. I think sometimes people take that to the next level, though, which is if I see something that's really effective in the game, not a glitch, but like, for example, like you said, the smoke screen thing. If I were to make a video on that, is that something where people should be like, you're ruining the game?
Well, I think with I don't know about the smoke screen thing that much. I never actually saw it in action, but I'd imagine it's counterable by manning him up or something.
Yeah,
whereas
everything's got a counter pretty much.
The disconnect glitch doesn't have a counter. But you're right. There are certain glitches that are okay, like showing like a glitch play that will help you win a game, but
the
it's not
Jimmy
going
Graham
to
jump, for example.
Yeah, exactly. perfect
Not really
example.
even necessarily a glitch, but just something that's super overpowered, and people would. But here's the thing: if you upload a video showing how to do the Jimmy Graham jump, you'll have at least probably 20% of the people in your comment section like, "Fuck you, unsubbed," that kind of a thing. So, like, you're kind of doing it at your own peril. But what I would like to see is more people putting out videos on how to stop that kind of stuff.
And also, if EA doesn't want enough, they can remove it. EA removed a video of mine from like 2 years ago.
Really?
Like it was, I did a field goal, how to make 80-yard field goals. It was only for solo challenge. It didn't work online. And then that shit got removed. YouTube said I clickbaited the audience with a misleading thumbnail and title. I'm like, what? This shit's not misleading. So, and then they said, I won the case, and they said you could re-upload the video, but the video was deleted.
Oh.
And like, why would that video get removed? Like, who would complain about that video and have it get shut down? Because you can put anything on YouTube these days, and the shit stays up there forever. So that one got deleted. But
that's a really tough question to answer because we don't really know what the process is for any of that stuff because YouTube keeps it all under wraps.
Yeah, that sounds like a user report.
But
Yeah,
it had
it does
no
to me
video.
too,
It
but I
had,
don't
no
know.
dislikes on it. People in the comment section weren't complaining about it. There was nobody being affected by it.
It only takes
Only
one
person-
dickhead though.
Oh, but no, well, one to get a video deleted had 20,000 views on it. One?
You never know. You never
No,
know.
I understand a whole army going after one video, but one person?
You never know, man.
Yeah, I think
you don't know how it works.
They say they look at every report.
Yeah.
So
But
one
I
person,
mean,
then one person at YouTube just feels shitty that day and feels like removing it. You're kind of out of luck.
But I won the case though. I just don't get it. I think that has something to do.
Well, once
with,
you appeal, it goes to a different person, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, if you appeal it goes to probably a different location, and they look at the stuff. But the fact that it got removed, and then Madden 25 or Madden 15 comes out. I think it was Madden 15 or Madden 16 comes out, and then you couldn't even do the field goal exploiting that game. They fixed it too. They fixed that issue. So I think it was EA. Everything, all the signs point towards EA.
No, that seems like a deep conspiracy to me, dude. I don't know.
I mean, but yeah, but before we move on, I talked about the I did the mid blitz cheese on my video on my channel a while back, and people got mad at that as well. So if you put anything up people don't want to watch, or they find people are gonna exploit them online, they'll let you know about it.
Yeah.
And so, but
the mid blitz cheese. I mean, you're talking about something that
I'm doing it
is super
differently,
effective. Were you the first one to put that mid blitz up on YouTube?
No. I don't think it was the first one. I wasn't even running the mid blitz the way it was designed. So when I first played online, some dude whipped my ass. I don't know what he did and how he did it. I just copied what he did because I was like, I'm gonna go and learn this shit too. So he basically came out of mid blitz, but what his wrinkle in it was he would bring the safety in between the two linebackers in the middle,
Oh yeah.
and then both edge guys to come in. So you
Yep.
had Von Miller and Clowney at the time, and I couldn't do anything about it. You couldn't scramble with your quarterback because the quarterback glitches in the game, so you're just kind of stuck there. And so the funny thing about it was my team just wasn't blocking it right. I would block 7 and dudes just weren't blocking it because they were blocking inside instead of blocking outside first.
Yeah.
And so I put it on my channel just letting you know if you guys run into this, I mean, the counter really is just to run the ball or just throw quick slash or whatever. But people didn't like that. I put it, don't delete this video text. People are going to run this against me. So like, they'll let you know if you don't like it. So people will they'll be vocal about it. If they don't want it up there, like I said, they'll probably try to get it removed unless EA comes to their aid first and steals your $20 you made off that video.
Savages.
Dang you. Seriously. So that's, I mean, still kind of cool. That's how I find a lot of my stuff too. Is wow, that guy just burned me with that play. Let's see how to lab this. So it's how everybody finds. Competitive players find it how. So that's kind of cool though, Texas. All right. So next one, fixed an issue where user settings would reset to defaults and play a friend game.
Nah.
This includes the auto flip setting. So that is what it is. I have no opinion on it. You guys?
Nope.
Don't care.
Okay.
No big deal.
Franchise got one. Fixed CFM issue where user would receive an invite error pop-up when trying to invite another user to another franchise game.
Meh.
Okay, yeah. Good that it's got fixed, but I have no
Yeah.
opinion on it. All right.
Bravo. There you go. This is one of the things. Yay. Golf
We
clap.
got Kliquid to praise EA. What a glorious day. So, one question I got for both of you. I think I start with Kliquid. What would you like to see in future patches? Anything still out there besides for the swerve glitch? Anything still out there that you'd like to see fixed for Madden 18?
For Madden 18? Damn, that's a hard one.
They're not. They're not gonna patch 17 anymore. it
Well, I
doesn't
mean,
sound
for
like.
Madden 18, we're going to be on a completely different engine. I know you said there's going to be a lot of copying and pasting. So it's hard to really say exactly how things are going to function at that point in time. A lot of the stuff that I've found to be most frustrating has been addressed for the most part, gameplay wise. There's still a lot of stuff though that's really frustrating to me. I think the biggest problem that I tend to have with it is what you mentioned before, in terms of there are just certain types of plays that work so much more effectively than other types of plays for no other reason than that it's just like, that's the formation, I run this playbook because it has this specific formation, and the inside zone out of that formation is so much better than the inside zone out of this formation. And like, why? I would just like to see a little bit more consistency when it comes to that type of stuff. Same thing with passing, I guess, but the running to me seems to be the big one. There's very obviously certain run plays that are way freaking better than other ones.
Yep. Okay. Texas, any thoughts?
Mine's not really about gameplay, because, I want a lot of different things with gameplay to be better, but it's mostly with the blocking. My thing is I kind of want to see them, if they're going to keep going with the chemistry, let me compare these people who are chem boosted to everybody like on the auction house and stuff like that. I can see how these guys stack up side by side. I don't know why that doesn't let you do that. I don't know why that window doesn't pop up if you have a guy chem boosted in your lineup and you can't see him chem boosted against a 97 all receiver that just dropped. You got to do the math in your head. I don't like that. So that's what I want to see.
Nobody told me there'd be math involved.
Yeah, I just want to just look. I want to see how this guy stacks up. But they don't want you to see that because obviously they don't want you comparing your Chem boosted guy to the guy that just came out, because you might realize it's the same damn card.
Yeah, I could see that. You're right. I mean, the +1 sprinkles and all that good stuff that you put.
That's all I want to see. That. But gameplay, though, a lot of things I would like to see. Blocking improve with the linemen, being able to tell them what's going to come. I want to be able to diagnose the play on offense and defense. If I know my opponent's going to come out running a C route, let me say C route is coming and just have them play it perfectly. Now, if he comes out with a streak, my guy just gets beat deep. That's on me.
And I've said this many times before, and I get why people disagree with me on this, but I think players that have higher awareness, higher play recognition, things like that, I would love for them to be able to address and say, okay, well, they've ran that play 17 times in a row, so maybe they might run it again here, and maybe they can make a better break on the ball, or, get around the edge, or, something like that. And we just have none of that. Every single play is individually, acted upon, and there's no memory of anything that's ever happened in the past for any of the players that are on the field.
Yeah, the counter to that is if these players start playing differently, with higher play record awareness than they had in the past, then as a user you don't have as much control over it, so you don't know. It's not as easy to predict where they're going to be on the field.
Sure,
that's the counter argument from the Madden devs. And the thing is, with the play rec and awareness, what I hate most about it, and I'm saying I think your idea is better. Like, give them some sort of boosted knowledge of where the route's going to be running. And I think that's fine and react better to it. But I think players don't blow assignments in Madden. And, so Taylor Mays used to play great, even though he had player rec and awareness lower than, I don't know, my IQ or dog's IQ. So, so if he's in a cover 2, he's not going to get beat over the top because he's still going to play the exact same zone that a lot of other guys are going to play, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And that's something I hope gets changed, where guys blow assignments if they have 30 play rec.
Right.
So.
I remember you did that zone coverage thing early in the year. Nobody had any idea what zone coverage actually did. Nobody did until you did that video.
Well, the thing with also, I did that video in 16 too, and in 16, zone coverage actually changed how they play zones.
Right. So they changed that shit and they don't tell anybody.
Yeah, it's because with the updated zone logic, a lot of the new zones they put in, they're like, everybody's going to be in the same place no matter their zone coverage. So now they also, play rec used to be how quickly they broke on the ball. This year it's just run pass. Last year was run pass too, but zone coverage used to be how quickly they broke on the ball too. Yeah. Anyway, you can go watch that video if they want to. There's some more stuff there. One other thing I want to say, I want spread sets to actually work and be effective. Every single thing you see in Madden right now are tight sets. True. That are the meta. So that's my biggest change, to balance out the sets.
Tight sets, right?
That and the route combinations are better at tight sets.
Okay.
Like the corner routes, seam routes, It's just like the way they can attack defenses out of tight sets because they can go to more of the field. It feels it's more effective. You see like the gun bunch, the split close, the snugs, all those things that are close to the line. The deuce close, that my favorite formation. It's all tight. The meta's all tight. And wants spread offenses. All right, sorry for droning on. Any thoughts on spread versus tight sets?
I guess it makes sense though.
I like them tight, dude. I don't know about you, but
man, you don't like them.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't touch that one.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on to Dubby and competitive Madden. So EA ended up finding Dubby, and after our talk last week, Texas, you were on, Matster was on. I was wondering, Kliquid, and we'll go to you first, and Texas for any follow-up comments. What are your thoughts on the Dubby situation, and did EA handle it okay?
Well, so before I answer this question, let me point out that I am not condoning anything that he said whatsoever. But basically my problem with the whole thing is I don't like that EA didn't take responsibility for their actions within the whole thing. Like, just as an example, right? Now, I know supposedly, and I say this with quotes, supposedly the reason that he was fined is because they asked him not to tweet any stuff out like that, and then he did it after they told him not to at the tournament. However, these guys, they should definitely be looking into these guys' social media prior to them coming to these tournaments. And, like, if this guy is out here just being a complete detriment like that and saying just asinine things, you can't have him there. I mean, yeah, he earned his way there and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you're a company that gets to decide who's in your tournament. If you want to decide that, you know, it's Problem and 7 other, like, shitty YouTubers in the tournament, and that's the tournament, and fuck everybody else, that's your thing. Like, you get to decide that, right? So, to me, them just allowing him to play in the tournament, they're basically saying that, in my opinion, that your social media doesn't really matter. And then all of a sudden they get heat from people online on Twitter saying, you know, this guy said all kinds of ridiculous stuff. He's being a dick, whatever. And then they fine him $3,000 out of $75K. Like, and they do it retroactively. You know, like, what happens if 6 months from now, you know, Problem decides that he's going to go out there and start, you know, calling everybody, you know, all these different types of, you know, bad phrases and things like that. Are they going to take away $5,000 from him 6 months later, or is it only while you're there in the studio that you can't tweet this stuff? Like, where does their arm reach to? That's my biggest issue with the whole thing, in my opinion.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Interesting take. Yeah, it definitely does. Like, they don't have any set guidance there, and they've kind of let things slide. I see what you're saying.
And I can't get an answer from anybody because these guys, like, I don't know if they got pissed off at me or whatever because I was kind of going off about it, but, like, I don't know, did they sign any specific contract that said that they couldn't tweet stuff? Or did EA just decide and say, you know, we had this, because in their quote-unquote code of conduct, it doesn't say anything about not tweeting mean shit. So if it doesn't, then why are they getting fined? Based on what? Based on what criteria are you taking money out of his pocket that he earned? And not only that, but they take this $3,000 and they don't even, like, they're not, like, putting it towards the next tournament. They're not, like, putting it into one of the club series tournaments as an extra prize. They're just, like, taking it and being like, we're going to put it towards gameplay improvements, wink, wink.
Yeah. See what you're saying.
AIDS, man.
Yeah. So, Texas, any thoughts on the follow-up to the W situation, him getting fined?
I don't know why. So, I think W's a racist. I'm in the camp that W is a racist. You don't say those things to a friend that you like. And he's your friend. No, I think he's a racist. So, but yeah. I don't think they should have fined him though, just because I don't think that finding somebody because of the reaction you get is like that's how to run a business. Yeah. The one thing I think they should have did though was just said he's suspended from all tournaments this upcoming year though.
Right.
Just because I don't think they want to. If a racist keeps winning, that's probably not the best bet. I mean, America's kind of changed, so who knows? People may not care as much, but like if he wins the next one, like this is gonna be Madden tournament. Madden racist wins again. That's all it's gonna be. So the headlines are gonna be. So I would have suspended him to the heat cool down. I mean, maybe people may forget about that, but I know Black Sports Online. I follow them. A lot of people are writing articles about this Madden guy who was saying racist things on Twitter, who appeared to be racist, won a championship, and got fined. So I wouldn't let him play any more tournaments, but that's the only thing I would have done, because you can't be out here. Like, if you say racist things on Twitter and somebody calls your job, you can get fired for that. And people have gotten people fired for that. This is kind of present yourself how you want to be presented, and he didn't present himself in an order like that by sending those tweets out. So I think they should have suspended him instead of fining him and let him keep his earnings, because he earned all that money. Agreed. You can't fine somebody because he was defiant. Because he was defiant on Twitter from the beginning, and you let him come down there regardless without vetting his entire social media account, which would have been easy just by typing a couple of words to see if you said anything that you didn't want there. I remember when I was supposed to be getting NBA Live early. I had hashtag Washington racial slurs in my bio. And the EA guy didn't want to send me the game. He thought I was doing something racist there. So they can vet. They just chose not to in this instance.
Wait, can you go more into that situation? What happened?
So I don't say it.
Okay, he doesn't say the word Redskins, so I'm going to say it. So okay, continue.
Yeah. I don't say that word because it's a racial slur. Because that's what the team was. You can look at the owner who got the team. I bit my tongue. The owner who bought the team and changed the name, like he did that not as an honoring for the Indians. He did it for just because he wanted to be offensive. So I don't say that term. So for a while I used to just basically have it in my bio for Twitter, Washington racial slurs, and the guy at EA thought that I was like, I guess racist. It was weird. Okay, he didn't want to see me NBA Live early, so I had to convince him that I wasn't racist, which made no sense to me. So they can do their vetting. I guess in this instance, they just didn't care. And then W also being defiant as hell probably didn't really help their case either.
Right.
I gotcha.
But they didn't do shit to Skimbo when he did not as egregious. But
no, I think the Skimbo thing's different. Like I explained it like this. Sometimes your friends think it's funny to go on your Twitter account and tweet things out. He wasn't saying anything towards anybody. Like this dude was calling people like coons and lynching, and it was bad, man.
Yeah, it was rough, dude. That was
this
rough.
Dude
to
does
read.
not
like,
need to be at the next Madden tournament. Because I was talking to Vic, man. I might go out to Burbank, go to a black church, and get some signs together and invade that joint. And when he's playing, man, W is a racist. Clap, 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 clap. And just cause anarchy. That'd be funny.
That would be kind of funny.
That would be funny. So like, I kind of want to do that. Hey, don't tell nobody, EA, whoever listens to this podcast right now. Don't tell nobody, because that might happen.
So, Texas, I want to. You mentioned something right before we got on about the reaction we got in the comments and Mattster and whatnot. Did you have any, or Kliquid? You may have had something too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Kliquid, do you want to talk about yours?
Yeah, so I made a video regarding what I think EA should have done prior to him getting fined. And basically my assessment was, first of all, like I said, they needed to take responsibility going into the tournament and prevent this whole thing from happening. If they care about what people tweet on Twitter, then they should not have allowed him to be there. End of discussion, in my opinion. Now, in addition to that, so I made that claim in my video, right? And people were upset about that, first of all. And then secondly, it was so bizarre because I had people in my comment section, like there were so many people that were pissed about that video that I made. Some of the people were saying that I was defending him, and then some of the people were saying that I was like trying to witch hunt him. It was like completely opposite complaints, but they were both just pissed at me for whatever reason, and I wasn't doing either. There was no witch hunt. There was no defending him. I repeatedly said, if I was EA, I would not allowed this motherfucker to play at the tournament, So, I think people just get, in the comment section on YouTube, when you discuss things, people just like go into this mode. We all know what confirmation bias is, of course, right? And, these people, like they just put on blinders to any sort of other information that could be coming to them. And they're just like, nope, this is where I'm going with it, period. No matter what comes out of this person's mouth, this is what I'm assessing them saying. And so I think that's kind of what happened to Matster in your comment section as well. People just got pissed at him for, I guess he was kind of on the fence about what EA should have done regarding him, right? I mean, that was basically the situation.
No, he was basically saying that you can't judge this dude because we're like he's a good dude because he knows him, and that's not an argument you can do because some people know a lot of people who are good, but that are also rapists and murderers and shit like that.
Absolutely,
I mean,
yeah.
Joe Paterno knew Jerry Sandusky. I mean, so I'm not calling WWW Jerry Sandusky. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just giving you an example there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
right.
basically what he was saying, and people didn't like that too much because they felt like he was kind of defending him. I don't think he was defending him. I just don't think talking race as a white man, as I mentioned to him about this, is something that is going to win him anything unless he's talking in a very, very informative fashion, which not many people can talk about race in. So I kind of felt bad for him because Matt's a good dude. I just felt like he was kind of out of depth in that particular.
I will say this as a white dude, it is sometimes frustrating because basically the general consensus is I can't talk about women, I can't talk about any other race other than white people.
Yeah,
and that is super frustrating because just because there's a history within my race and my gender of being an asshole and objectifying women and enslaving people and things like that doesn't mean I have any fucking thing to do with that at all. Now, granted, yeah, I might have some advantages in terms of, the general life that I've been allowed to have because I don't have, people don't have preconceived notions about me that go back to, their dumbass 1950s situation where they ran into somebody that was a certain way or whatever. I've had that type of an advantage in some ways, but still, like, I can talk about race and not be biased about it. I can completely understand why people would be fucking furious about what he said, and rightfully so. My only thing regarding the whole racial thing is to me, saying something racist and doing something racist. I think you mentioned this before, Tex. Like, there's a big difference between those two things. Mm-hmm. Like, if I say something that would be racist, if I say the N-word, with the hard ER at the end of it, that's a terrible thing to say. But what's worse, me saying that word or me not hiring you because you're black at a job? That's a racist action. You know what I mean? Just as an example. And I personally think that the actions are much worse than the words. And yeah, so in a lot of cases, I feel like people overlook the actions that are racist and they just focus on words. And to me, that's a really, really bizarre situation that we have.
Well, yeah,
just in
it's
our
much
lives.
it's much easier to focus on the words, though. You mean you got like who was the owner for the Clippers? What was that dude's name? That guy had to sell his
that
team?
old fuck. Yeah. What was that guy's name? Silver or something?
No, Silver's the commissioner of the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. What is his name? Anyway, that guy got caught on tape being racist, obviously, but he was
Sterling.
actually racist. Yes, Sterling.
I was close.
Donald Sterling.
He was much more racist before that. He had there was housing discrimination suits against this dude forever.
Yeah.
And so people they ignored that because it wasn't sexy to talk about. The N-word, you can talk about that all day. Right. So it's kind of weird. So I'm cool with guys who are educated talking about this stuff, but generally people just focus on like not the, like you said, the words, not the action, which is much easier to talk about than.
It's much easier to show as well in a lot of cases, of course. When you're on Twitter, you can't really show an action, but you can show words. So I mean that makes sense, I guess. It's just to me, like I hate to just call somebody a racist and stuff because like I've been in, like if you go to a stand-up comedy show, right? Like if a comedian says, a racist term or whatever, and they're, joking about it, there's like an implied joke there, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean that comedian is racist because he calls, this is going to sound bad. So he calls, should I don't even know if I'm going to say it. Like,
Kliquid, let me cut you off. Kliquid, let me cut you off here.
Okay.
So that ended Michael Richards' career.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What I'm saying, though, is there's people like Carlos Mencia, for example, right, who will come out and he'll say, he'll call Mexicans beaners or whatever, right? And we find out Carlos Mencia isn't even Mexican. Like, that comes out years later, right? But nobody really called him racist.
but it's also different at a comedy show. And if you're there to be funny and offensive, it can work. Like, but you're there to be funny. The reason why George Lopez got criticized this past week wasn't because of him being offensive at the routine. It wasn't funny. You can be if somebody heckles you and you're not funny in the response and you're just being offensive, it's a bit different. Whereas like, because Michael Lewis, when he was calling the guys the N-word, he could have been funny about the whole situation, but he went completely different. So you can be offensive, you just can't go to that level. And if it's funny, it's fine. Because Patrice O'Neal is one of my favorite comedians. That dude was offensive as hell.
Oh yeah,
offensive as hell, and I loved him. But like, I never felt uncomfortable listening to him or felt like, you know what, this joke is kind of offensive and I should probably cut it off. I don't feel that way. So it's a little bit different in a comedy show as opposed to anything else.
I think the race thing is it's a little bit more obviously triggering to people, right? Like, it's just as offensive, in my opinion, to call a gay person the quote-unquote F word, right? And we don't really have as much of a problem with that, it seems like. I guarantee if you went through the other Madden people, the people at the tournament, I guarantee at least one of them had a couple of F-bombs, the F-A, you know, that. And where's the outrage for that? Why is that accepted?
Well, we didn't do that, though. We'll find the next guy, though. I'm telling you.
There won't be an outrage for that. That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, also, I was wondering this earlier. Would the outrage be different if Dub was saying something anti-Semitic? Like, would it's fine to be more? I mean, because that affects more people than just saying the N-word. There are more white Jews in the world than there are black people.
Are there really? Damn.
I mean, I'm just going to assume like 12% population.
I don't know. I've never thought about it.
I mean, this is going off the deep end. We're just talking about like issues,
just general race relations discussion here with Tex and Kliquid and Fox. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I think a lot of times we are quick to judge people for the things that they would say to their friends, because I guarantee all of us, or at least I certainly have, used that F word to describe a friend of mine in a joking manner, and they're not gay, right? But if I use the N word, even if they're not black, that's super offensive.
But like at the end of the day, we're all human, though. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We're all inconsistent. So it's not that big of a deal. The thing about it is you're not really attacking a said race unless that's what you're trying to do with when you're calling people those names. But I guess we can probably get off this because we talked about this enough. And people are probably angry in the comment section on both ways. Mad at me for mentioning race, mad at you for mentioning race, and GutFoxxs is staying out of it.
I think bottom line, I think he should not have done that, obviously. And EA's. I think the bigger issue here, more so to me, is what EA did, not necessarily even what he did. So.
Okay. All right. So we've been going for a little while. We got a couple more things left. I don't know if you just want to wrap it here, or should I guess we can do it.
I'm good.
The Draft Champions update that came through. What are you guys feeling on it, Tex?
It's about time. I don't know what took them so long. I don't know if they gave a reason why they neglected it. I don't know if somebody there got fired or somebody got moved to a different job. And obviously we know that they brought it back because the next tournament is going to be done on Draft Champions. But I'm really enjoying it. T&D is pretty cool. The mode speed being the same across all modes is awesome. So now ranked DC is not as slow as it was before. Yeah. And only thing I got to do now is just update the rewards you get for winning all these games, and we'll be back in business. I'm really enjoying this. I'm probably going to sell my MUT team after Ultimate Master drops and just start playing DC.
Wow. Kliquid, how about you?
I mean, it was definitely fun when I did my first draft, and the first card that popped up was 98 Mike Vick. I mean,
do you think now that we're able to play with them in Draft Champions that their prices are going to decrease on the auction house?
That's a good question. I've actually thought about that before, with previous cards and actually really more in Madden 16. But it's possible. I don't know if it'll be super drastic, but maybe a little bit of a drop. Just because he's actually somewhat common to pull. It's not like it's super rare to get Vic. Freaking 1 out of like 5 people was pulling Vic, it seemed like.
Yeah. Hey, how funny is it that EA said Vic's going out of packs on Saturday, and he's still in packs today?
It's a day 2? He's not out of packs yet?
Day 2. It's like day 4.
Okay, so if you guys are pulling packs today and get nothing, contact EA support, or you pull packs this weekend because you can get your money back.
Really? Can I get the money I lost on Vic?
You could say that, you won't get that bad. You could say, I was pulling packs because you say he's going to be out of packs on Saturday, and he's not. I bought this bundle under false pretenses, false advertising, to get my money back. You just got to prove the screenshot. You got to find the right guy because some of these dudes be out here giving the ring around and basically saying, no, you're fine, blah, blah, blah. If you find the right guy, you can get your money back and your coins. So
wait. So I pulled the one on a Friday and didn't get Vic, but he's still in packs now. I can get a refund. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if he's still in packs, it says supposed to be packs on Saturday. You can still get a refund because it's false advertising. I mean, he's got to find the right dude. It's kind of weird how that works. They'll advance your case up and hopefully get your stuff back. I had one case that got denied, and everything else that I pretty much did under false advertising, I got my stuff back for.
Damn,
really?
That's crazy. You should do a video on that.
I mean, I did. I remember last year I got my video. I mean, they stole 400,000 coins from me for doing the cornucopia pack. Because the shit said trophy, and there's no damn trophy in that damn pack.
True.
Got my damn coins back. So that
Nice.
false advertising thing is kind of what you should do. Because that's kind of a scam, though. You can't be like, he's going to be out of packs on Saturday, and then people are over here pulling packs on Friday, and the dude's still in packs.
You know who it affects the most is the people who actually did pull him.
Yeah.
Or the people who bought them like me,
Yeah.
and now his price is 400,000 coins less.
Yeah, like that's the crazy thing, man. Like they think that like what they're doing is like doing people a favor by keeping those cards in packs, and it is to some extent, but it's screwing other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's. I think they just. I don't know. Do they just overlook it, or what's their issue?
They've done it before, man. Like I remember, like we were pulling like limited edition cards at one point. I'm trying to remember if it was the beginning of this year or last year. But like you could pull like some of these limited edition cards, like the limited 24-hour cards or whatever, 48-hour cards, and then like you were pulling them like 3 weeks later. It's like what the?
Oh right, yeah, that was earlier this year.
Yeah, like
That's
what the
so
hell?
silly. Yeah.
It was just random. It was like on like a Wednesday afternoon. Like no idea why the hell that would happen, but yeah, it just and there's no like sorry guys, you know, we didn't give any extra coins to the people that actually lost coins. It's just like the Randy Moss glitch. Like if you didn't take advantage of that or whatever, and like you had purchased a Moss, like well, GG's to you, I guess.
Yeah, I lost. Yeah, a lot of people got angry over that one, and it was a screw up. All right, so EA screws up. What else is new, right? So, what do you guys think on Kliquid? I want to hear your opinion. We've gotten Texas's on this one. 100 attributes. Guru said on Twitter that we're not going to get over 99 attributes. That's the max this year. So with golden tickets, what's the point of a? But oh right, yeah, based on your that's a good point. But they no longer show it on cards. They're not going to do over 100 stats. Maybe because of your testing last year. Maybe Kliquid is doing good for the community here.
Tex did it too, man.
Great stuff. Yeah, great stuff.
Tex
Kliquid.
and I both put out videos that showed that the 100 attributes were horseshit. And people were still defending it. Even after we showed it in video, I was like, this is indisputable. I'm sorry. But
yeah, I see those people all the time with my testing videos. They're like, you're wrong. I'm like, really? Because I showed it right there.
Yeah.
And like, no,
this
not how it
guy
works.
just plays better for me. Okay. That's my favorite.
yeah.
All right, then. Noah. There you go.
I like that.
Yeah, that's.
I use him
good for you.
correctly. I blitz him off the left side, not the right side. Therefore, he comes in untouched.
Yeah.
Boom,
Okay.
there it is. Yeah,
You figure out the glitch.
Yeah,
You
no.
got it, man.
So as far as the over 100 overall stuff, or over 100 ratings and stuff, like, you know, like we said, in my opinion, that stuff never even existed. In reality, it was always a facade to sell more packs. So
Interesting.
I'm actually kind of surprised that they did it because they were getting away with it. The vast majority of the community still believed the shit. So I don't know. Again, I don't understand why EA is taking money out of their own pockets. Because from like, for example, what is a golden ticket going to be an upgraded version of the Mike Vick? Like, what is he really going to get upgraded? Like a couple of throw power or throw attributes, maybe? Like, he's not going to get super freaking juiced like he would in the past.
Nope.
So, big deal, I guess. Like, there's not a huge advantage to the golden tickets over the Ultimate Legends then at that point.
Yeah, ideally. It depends. Maybe we can get some motivator chemistries on them, or maybe this is the year that we get like more crazy golden tickets, like lower overall guys being upgraded, which would be kind of neat. But we're still gonna get some Vicks, right?
Yeah, there's gonna be
Well, you
Vicks
retired
and
though, right? So I don't think we'll get a Vic, right?
That's a good point. Vic is actually probably a really bad example. That's a good point. But like any other player, I guess, like Favre, you know, whatever. Any of these other Ultimate Legends, Marshawn Lynch and stuff. Yeah, they can upgrade them, I guess, but it's not going to be like the +7 to speed that kind of shit that we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Moving on.
Wait 1 sec. So with the overall stuff, you have a theory why they decided not to do that? Because other than the videos that we and Kliquids put out, it's like a lawsuit waiting to happen, or like why didn't they do this? Because there's no good reason they can give. Like they probably have a reason, but like what reason could they give that'd be good enough for them not to go back and give us 103 speed, 104 block shit?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
You don't have any idea. Like I'm trying to figure like why is this not a thing anymore?
You know what's
'Cause
even
we all know what.
You know what's even crazier is they could realistically make it so that the over 100 stuff worked. All they would have to do is make it so that like there's not a difference between like 4 and 5 and 6 speed, and then they take out those numbers essentially, and then they like your 96 speed would you like within the game coding 96 speed would show up as 99 speed on the card art, and then when you get to 99 speed, that's actually in the coding of the game. This is hard to describe. Sorry if I'm confusing.
No,
you
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Like it would boost it so that like 102 speed would actually be the 99 speed within the game code. So like you could realistically have attributes over 100. They would just have to like instead of making the over 100s irrelevant, they would just make like the something in like the 20s irrelevant, or a number here or there throughout the 0 to 99.
Yeah, it doesn't even. I mean, how hard is it? Really hard because to put over 99 just to make the guy go one tick faster. Is that like I could see with accuracy because it's like maybe out of 100% chance of being an accurate throw over 100 wouldn't matter.
Right.
But like throw power, just get it a tick faster out of the hands. I don't know. But then like computers are complicated and there's tons of code, legacy issues. Who knows?
I have no idea how that works at all.
Yeah.
Neither do I. I just want to figure out why it's not in the game, because I mean I'll take credit. Me and Click we'll be the forefront of this. We'll be the guys out here taking the credit, saying we took something you guys like out of the game. Well, I don't want to blame us, man, because like they should have made it work in the first place if it wouldn't existed.
Right.
All right.
Sorry that we made it so that you guys don't get scammed by EA. Like,
sorry, not sorry, basically. Yeah. All right, so Ultimate Legend promos. How are you guys feeling with the bosses being 98s and then Beast Mode himself? Kliquid, any thoughts?
I actually am totally fine with guys not being 99s overall, because they need to make it so that there's going to be actually players that are 99 overall at the end of the year, so that we're not just every single player has basically the same attributes. I'm okay with it personally. I think they've done a good job of somewhat keeping the overalls down a little bit this year. They've kind of gone a little bit wild on some of the cards or some of the promos. But I like that the Ultimate Legends so far. I'm sure there will be a 1 or 2 that end up being 99s towards the end. But for right now, I kind of like that they're unique a little bit.
Yeah. How about you, Tex?
I like the Ultimate Legend. Like we got 8 of them this week. I don't know why we got +1 versions of the same card.
Yeah.
Don't understand that too much. I probably would have much rather had gotten just same 8 cards, but they had 4 limited and 4 regular versions. But I guess there's a method to their madness. I guess people were kind of excited that there's 8 cards to pull for in packs this week.
Yeah,
I don't understand the +1. It's like the Marshawn Lynch, and then the set legend Marshawn Lynch is way worse than his limited time, with only 96 trucking and only 89 elusiveness. Like, they kind of made that card terrible. If you want to run
think
stock. So? Yeah, because you don't get that 90 threshold, as you mentioned, and apparently there's the top tier for trucking is 97 to 99, and so he doesn't have the top tier for trucking.
Where'd you see that at?
That was my source. His name starts with an E and ends with a rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
but
I was talking about that.
Isn't he's got the BB chem? You can get it up to 97 pretty easy.
Yeah, I have a theory on chemistries about I don't think the chemistries work in game at that point, but that's because I'm just kind of a nut. I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist when it comes to this stuff. I got 99 blocks over the offense, defense. I mean, all over my defense. I don't see no difference. So I think if it's on the card stock, they play better than the card that has it chem boosted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I always have a tough time with some of those, and that's why, like last year when I was testing the above 99 speed, I chose speed specifically because that's something that it's not your opinion. It's not like I see him playing better. It's like, is he getting from point A to point B at a certain rate? You know, and that's why I feel like speed and acceleration, like if you have two cards that are at the same speed and acceleration by default, and then you can get one chem boosted, then you can actually see if that will actually matter on the field. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it would be a pretty simple test.
Yeah, it becomes a really simple test then, and it takes out your opinion. Because testing, any testing that includes opinion is automatically flawed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should go into it neutral and then come out with the result and then speak on the result.
Yeah, and same thing with user input. All of my tests that I try to do things that have zero or as minimal user input as possible. Because you can't really guarantee that you hit that hit stick at exactly the right angle, at a consistent basis.
Yeah, you'd have to do it like 50 or 100 times.
Like 50,000 times to get like a good sample size. Seriously,
that's a little much.
Okay,
100
it's
would
probably a
be
little
fine.
much, but you get what I'm saying though. Like, it's like you have to have such a huge sample size then to kind of negate some of that stuff. But I don't know, man. Like I have a really tough time with that stuff, so that's why I try to just show it as simply as I can without any of my user input as much as I possibly can. But I appreciate, like you guys do some of the testing that includes user input, and you do a really good job of trying to negate as much of that as you can, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so my opinion on this, with Beast Mode, it seems like we're getting these cards that are either going to be like a couple 100,000 or like 2 million coin cards. Like, it's before golden tickets, we're already getting to, I guess, Ultimate Legends last year, Vic was 3 million to start. Oh, no, he was only 2 million to start, right? I bought him. He was like 2.2 to start off. So it seems like we got more coins in the economy if Lynch was going for over 3 and so was Vic for a while. Do you guys, is it just easier? It's just easier to get coins this year, right?
Yes. The solo challenges they have, and also, the sponsors, and it's a lot much easier to get coins this year as opposed to last year. Last year, I think at this time there were more things to do in game. We had a lot of journeys last year. This year we only have 2 so far. 3.
We have a lot more promo solos and limited time solos this year.
Right. Yeah, and those things are paying out good dividends. Plus the Ultimate Legends solo we got this past week, where guys are pulling 9 out of our cards out of that pack.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, that pack's out of the game, by the way. That solo's gone. If you didn't know, I think it's a limited time solo, only be in the game on weekends.
I'm trying to suck you in to buy packs next week. Give you a little bit this week. It's like a drug dealer, man. They give you a little bit this week, and then next week, throw a little baking soda in there, tone it down a little bit.
But a good drug dealer always puts in a batch that's going to OD one of his people, because that way the people that are worried about people, putting baking soda in their product will go to that guy. Because oh my God, his shit's so good it killed somebody.
Right. I wonder who gets that.
What do you mean?
No, nothing at all.
Who's gonna get killed? Yeah. Anyways,
somebody's getting some good shit. That's all I'm saying from EA. I don't know.
you're gonna start some juiced packs rumors.
I don't even have to start the fucking rumors. Like, that shit's for real. Like, I don't care what anybody says. There's no fucking way. There's no way. And I know for a fact some people get customer service grants of fucking ridiculous ass cards.
No, the guys like Farrells and Gibbs and Mutt Guru definitely customer service grants their team, but they work for EA.
More than that.
Yeah, shout out to Jake Stein though. Jake Stein be out here getting his players himself, and he'll let you know if he got a customer service grant. He be out here on Twitter letting you know. I got Lynch. I'm trying him out. I'm sorry that I had to do this. Please forgive me. Shout out to Jake Stein.
Yeah, no, Jake Stein's shit, man. Like, I will say some repulsively mean stuff on Twitter, and he'll like DM me and be like, yeah, man, like, I hear where you're coming from. Like, he comes at it from such, like, a nice standpoint.
Yeah, he has always seemed to be a pretty nice dude. He answers pretty good, too. He's answered me a couple times. Yeah. So, yeah, Jake Stein, nice dude.
Shout out to him.
All right, Kliquid, we got, I don't know, 2 or 3 subjects left. You guys still good?
Yeah, I'm good for whenever. I apologize. Sometimes I talk a little much, so I apologize, guys.
No, I think we're going on a record time for this podcast with me and Tex, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like it.
Man. I like these ones. People do too.
Season Stars promo, the one we just got. It kind of, not really, sort of. My guru says it doesn't replace final editions. Kliquid, yeah, like it's essentially replacing Final Edition, but Guru said not really. There's a lot more to MUT seasons on his Twitter. Anyways, Kliquid, I know you put out I watched your video and we just talked about it beforehand. Pretty passionate. I don't know. How do I say? Opinion on Season Stars. What can you share a little bit with us?
Honestly, like my opinion on Season Stars isn't even like the promo itself. Whatever. Like I don't care. It's just those packs that they had in the game were fucking awful. Like 60,000 coins, and you were getting like shitty gold cards, and like the best stuff that you could pull was worth. I mean, like yeah, you could potentially pull one of the limited editions, but we all know that shit ain't happening. For most people, like the best stuff that you could pull for the most part was the stuff that was worth like as much as the pack was going for. Like I don't know why the hell anybody was buying that with coins. Now granted, why the hell does anybody buy packs with coins in this game? There's fair argument there, but this one seemed to be, in my opinion, particularly shit.
Yep, yeah, it was pretty bad, but a lot of promo packs are pretty bad for the price. The pro packs always seem to be the best for the coins. Yeah. Texas, what are your thoughts on the packs and the promo?
Yeah, the packs are bad, but the promo overall, I mean, I'm all here for more elites in packs. You had 8 this past week with the Legends, and then this week, I was talking to Vic about this. There is, there's 4 elites per set, so that means there's 12 elites you can pull in packs.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, yo, that's better than Team of the Week. Like, you can, like, it's Monday through Sunday, that's 12 elites that are extra in packs. Now, you're not going to pull them. The motherfuckers is rare, but there's 12 more chances in packs that'll pull one of these Marcus Coopers or Mario Davis. Like, I'm all here for that. Plus, you can get more of these next week. Now, I don't know how this is not replacing Final Editions. Like, how, like, our Final Edition will be 99 overalls now? Like, how is this not going to replace that?
I don't know. It seems like the exact description what Final Editions are.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys are super high overall too. So like I don't get it, because like so Final Edition that comes out, it's just gonna be 1 set instead of possible 3. I don't know what
Final Editions. You're gonna be getting like these mediocre like left guards for the Vikings and stuff that are like 96 overall.
We have that. We have that right now, kind of with Cordy Glenn.
Yeah, they're like 91 and 92s though, right?
It's so weird. I don't know what we're doing with that.
But I mean, if there's like, if we're waiting for another, like, because they've still got to do positional heroes, they still got to do golden tickets, like all that kind of stuff still has to come out. So if we're still waiting for all that to pass, and then there's going to be like, this is a while from now, but 4th of July stuff still, they're going to be like all these cards, if there's not attributes, quote unquote, over 100, all these cards are going to be like the same at the end. You know what I mean? Every card's going to be super, it's going to be everything's like 98 or above. And they're all going to pretty much be a mirror image of one another.
Well, what's funny about that, Kliquid, is that's the exact same thing we've seen all year with the cards being the exact same of each other.
Yeah, true.
It's just hilarious to me that it's going to continue. There's going to be no separation through the whole damn year in these cards.
It's frustrating, man. And especially it's frustrating because you can't pull the shits out of packs. Like, the packs are still AIDS. Like, they don't give you anything good, and the packs are still AIDS. Like, it's just unreal. Buy coins, guys. Buy coins. Buy the fucking cards that you want. Like, I'm like, seriously, dude. Like, I don't understand why people at this point would be pulling packs. I understand if you're like Fox and you just like so. You have such a great morality to you, right? you don't want to screw up the economy for other people. But like, if you're just trying to build the best team and trying to have fun, man, just go buy some freaking coins and don't even like use whoever's code, man. Like, I mean, obviously I want you to use mine, but like whatever, right? The bottom line is get yourself a good ass team for coins. Don't fucking buy packs because you'll never get there. You'll never get there unless you spend thousands and thousands of dollars. And who the hell wants to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, and to be fair, the websites that you buy coins from also charge an exorbitant amount of coins per or dollars per 100,000 coins. Whereas you can find a peer-to-peer on like the subreddit for it. Yeah,
like do your thing, man. Like however you got to get coins, but just fucking do it like that. Buy your team with coins. Don't open packs. That's the shitty thing though, because this whole game mode originally was built on the fixation that people had from their childhood of opening packs, and now it's gotten to the point where the packs are like the shittiest thing in the game.
I agree with you on the shittiest part of the game. Like you just said, there is a certain excitement to it, and EA's taking advantage of it. I think the worst thing that I've seen this year are the quick sells, and how they used to be so fun last year.
Yeah.
They made them terrible.
So bad.
Yeah, I'm about to do a video where I open up like 30 of them, so that'll be fun.
Did you already buy them?
Yeah, dude, it's not about coins for me. Like I don't care. It's just about making the freaking video, to be honest with you. Oh, I'm expecting out of like 30 quick sells to get like 300K. So
I think you'd be
positive,
lucky.
Dog.
Yeah, I think you'd be lucky.
You only need to get there. You only need like 1 out of 30 of them to be like 100K.
Yeah, and to pull a boss legend, you only need 1 card.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying, like, most of your packs are going to be 1 2K, 1 2K, 1, you know, something like that, and then occasionally you'll pop for a 50K or 100K or something like that. So it's either going to happen or it's not. Whatever.
I like that attitude. I like it, Kliquid. Don't open packs, but quick sells are cool.
No, quick sells aren't cool. Like, I always tell people in my pack opening videos, like, don't fucking do this. Like, I'm doing it for a video. I'm
like
straight
those,
up honest
ads
about
on
it,
Jackass. Don't try this at home. That's how you do
Dude,
videos.
seriously, I should seriously put up a freaking warning. Like, warning, do not do this. What you're watching is an idiotic waste of money on YouTube. Like, seriously, it's
I get paid for this, so that's why I don't mind doing this.
Yeah,
Stop wasting your time and your coins, but just watch the video, then leave a like.
Dude, I had people in my comment section on that video that I made where I was saying how shitty the what are these called, season stars packs were. A couple people were like, I didn't think they were that bad. And I'm like, oh really? Like, what did you pull? And he's like, well, I bought 2 bundles and I got like 500K worth. I'm like, that's fucking awful. Like, like if you're saying that's a good pull, like that's like not good. I'm sorry. Like, it's not horrific, but that's probably like you got some good shit out of it, and that's still what your return was.
Kliquid, Texas.
Yeah.
About the what, season star bundles?
Yeah.
Did I lose you?
There was no transition there. He just said, I don't have a thought there. I mean, that's how pack odds are. They're just bad. Like, people think that they got good pulls out of them, but you do the math. It's like, nah, you could have bought this for much cheaper. But how about they getting that 1 pull though? Like with GutFoxxs, I got mad at GutFoxxs buying that motivator bond. I wanted to punch him.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Fox just dropped.
No.
You can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see if I can call him back. All right.
Wonder if his internet was shitting out. Because, like, the way that
weird.
he said that was like he couldn't hear us.
You said Texas?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
He's like, Texas Kliquid?
I didn't hear the Kliquid part. There we go.
All right, hey.
Hey,
Hi.
can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, so,
Okay, so
I did a little rant about the packs being terrible and people saying that they thought that they got good value out of them. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that part.
Okay.
It's been like 15 or 20 seconds I missed.
Okay.
So yeah, we didn't say anything there.
We
I can
just
cut that
stopped.
out then.
So
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because you said Texas, I'm like, is it my turn next? I didn't have no thoughts there. I was just listening. I was confused there for a second. All right.
Yeah, like Kliquid got cut off, and then I waited a couple seconds. I'm like, wait, what happened? And then I said Texas, and you could hear me then, huh?
Yeah, I heard you, but I know you didn't hear me apparently.
No. All right, my internet must have just crapped out quickly.
All right, let's pick up from where we
Still
left
recording?
off.
Everything, we're good then?
Yeah,
Mhm.
still recording.
Okay.
Still recording.
Yeah.
All right, Texas, what are your thoughts?
I guess, I mean, all right. So I guess as I was saying earlier before the whole thing dropped, people just don't do math. Well, they're afraid of math, so they think when they open up these bundles for $100 and they make 200,000 coins, that's good. And that's kind of crazy how they set the expectations that low, where 200,000 coins for $100 is great.
Yeah.
And that kind of depresses me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm so sad for these people. But like, people are afraid of math, though, man. Afraid of doing numbers, man. If you're gonna spend that much money, you better at least come out with 500,000, 600,000 coins plus out of that particular bundle. But people are also, why are they pulling the bundles like on a Monday? Wait till this weekend. People are weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, different new cards, new shiny things. Hey, one other thing I want to bring up about this whole thing Do you feel like you're killing your future revenue when you tell people not to buy packs? Because then they won't play the game, and then they won't watch your videos when they're not playing the game. You get?
I mean,
okay.
Not necessarily, because I think the point that we're trying to make is that EA needs to make these packs more rewarding. And unfortunately, to me, it feels like less people are playing Madden Ultimate Team every year. I could be wrong about that. I don't know what the raw numbers are. I know that their profits are still through the roof. But to me, it feels like there's still less and less people playing. And I feel like that is a bigger problem. And that's not really something that I can really influence even, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'm killing my revenue either by telling people not to pull packs because for one, like, I'm kind of in the same boat. If I'm saying don't pull packs, I ain't pulling packs either. Like, the last pack opening I do on my channel, I don't spend money. It's usually just coins.
Right.
Like, so I'm kind of being, like, a man of my word there, too. Like, these packs are off me. Don't pull them. I'll pull occasionally, like, just 8 Ultimate Legends in packs, but generally, like I said, I just don't pull packs anymore. I'm so glad about chemistry because that kind of helps me keep my channel alive in a sense because now I can do more creative things with it. Because pack openings are just kind of just there just to do. Like, while I love watching them, I'm not pulling packs no more because I just don't find them enjoyable for me because I just get nothing out of them.
And
yeah.
I don't think you're making the argument either that, like, there's some people make the argument there's no difference between any of the cards in the game. Like, I've seen people make those claims before. Like,
what?
Yeah, I've seen people say that kind of stuff on Twitter. Like, you know, obviously there's a difference between, like, the bronzes and, like, the high-end elites and stuff. But, like, what's the real difference between a 97 overall safety and a 93 overall safety? The 97 overall safety goes for, you know, 1.2 million, and the 93 overall safety goes for 200K or less. You know, like maybe 50K or less.
It's always that way, though.
Yeah.
Like, sorry to cut you off, but like at the cutting edge of technology, it's always going to be more expensive than like computer processors.
Right.
It's a little bit better, but it's 5 times as expensive.
Right. Yeah. No. Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I'm not even saying that though. Like, people make that argument though. But my point is, like, with not opening packs, is like you should just build your team with your freaking coins. Like, I saw you do like, you know, how much did you spend? Like 12 million on your squad or something like that?
My squad's 13 and change right
13.
now.
So like,
Sheesh.
you could make a video where you just go on and do like a shopping spree. Madden Mobile people do that all the time, right? And you did that, right? I didn't actually watch that, but I thought I remember you doing a shopping spree.
Yeah, I did the shopping spree. I've been doing shopping sprees for quite a while.
Yeah. So like, that's not my kind of video, but other people really enjoy those types of videos. And I feel like that thing, it kind of replaces pack openings in a sense. Because you're basically, what you're doing is you're saying, this is what I would spend my coins on. And, you know, at the end of the day, people want to see your personality and they want to see you doing what, you know, giving tips and things like that. So as long as you're doing that, I don't think that people are not going to tune in because you're not doing pack openings or you're saying pack openings are stupid or whatever.
People won't tune into your videos for pack opening if you're not pulling anything. That's the thing about it. If you don't pull nothing, they don't give a fuck. Like, get out of here with this trash-ass video.
Exactly.
So I think that kills your revenue more so than than telling people not to pull packs. You usually go find something else to do.
I think like a few years ago, like Madden, earlier in Madden and MUT, I feel like the pack opening videos did so well because there were so few people doing them. I think there's just more competition for pack pulls now that bad packs don't get good views.
Well, you also get more people making more money off this so they can spend more. So, like, I'm not going to compete with Toke. Toke can pull as many fucking packs as he wants to. I'm not competing with him. If he wants to spend as much money pulling 3 limited time cards, let him. I'm not doing it. I'll go find something else to do. Okay, I just can't compete now. Like, before, everybody had a chance. Now, the more you spend, the more likely you are to pull something, which I'm not about to do.
That's a good point.
That's a dick contest. I'm not trying to see who got a bigger dick here. Nah, you got it. You win.
It's an arms race.
It's
I
still,
see what you're saying.
It's still crazy though, because a guy like Toke could spend $500 on packs over the weekend, and like, I don't want to talk money about people, but he's definitely not hurting at the end of that.
Yeah.
No, not at all. But so, I guess, what did I want to say? Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, you guys reach thousands of people daily, and telling them not. What's that?
We, not you. We.
Yeah, you do too.
Okay.
Like what?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, back to my telling people off and like telling people like packs are bad, the game mode's bad, there's things are bad. Like, do you think some of that negativity hurts some of the hype around the game? Like, Yeah, it does. Like, do you think? I guess there's no real way to like. There are problems with the games. You guys are trying to give feedback and didn't listen. I don't know what the point I'm trying to make is like I said earlier, and there isn't anything more to it really. That you guys are lowering the hype of the game and potentially lowering your future audience if you get people to quit for all the problems that you point out.
I don't want people to quit playing the game. It's just, I mean, to me, you can do the same things that you really want to do just by doing them a little bit differently. I want to assemble the best team. Well, don't open up packs. Like, it's not the way to do it if you want to assemble the best team. If you just want to open up packs, then go ahead and open up packs. But then don't worry about how good your team is. You know?
That's true. Yeah.
And at the same time, I don't want to complain about the game, like about packs. I don't pull packs anymore. So I'm kind of shifting in different lanes. So I know packs are bad. I'm not gonna pull them. Everybody knows packs are bad, and don't expect a pack opening from me on my channel. And just expect chemistry builders, expect stuff like that you guys want to watch. I'm more in that lane. So even though I still make shit on the gameplay, it's mostly I don't do it in video anymore. I used to be kind of crazy like that. Now not so much. I'm just more so just joking. Because you can't take this shit that seriously.
It's not just Madden either. There's other communities that are going through the same things we are, you know. And I heard you guys
2K.
talking about this. I think it was with Matster, where the people that play the game the most, obviously they're going to see those flaws a lot more than the people that play it casually, right? So
yeah,
so
definitely.
it's frustrating to some of us that would play the game a lot, and there are a lot of YouTubers that play the game a lot more than I do. But I just see it from like the standpoint of I try to put myself in the shoes of a person who's brand new to the game, and I spent $100 on a bundle, and I'm like, dude, I just spent more than the amount that I paid for the game itself, so that I could like hopefully maybe I'll get some cool stuff, maybe I'll get that, you know, the brand new Barry Sanders card or whatever, right? And like that's super exciting to me, and then I get just jack shit. You know, like
Yep. Yeah.
That will make me not want to play the game anymore at all.
That's a good point. The new player experience, like we talked about earlier, just goes on with packs. Yeah.
It's bad.
Well, thanks. Yeah. Appreciate it. All right, one last topic before I got kind of a shenanigans question. All right, Mike Vick being 109 salary cap. A lot of people are like, why is this? I want to hear your guys' opinion either way on it. Kliquid, what do you think about the 109 salary cap for this Vic?
I don't really play salary cap, which is kind of, I don't know. So it makes it tough.
I don't either. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, see, but the thing is, I actually like salary cap. Like, I prefer to watch it for competitive over draft champions. But to me, you said that because I don't really have a frame of reference for how much some of the other cards are, but you said like the Tom Brady, the really great Tom Brady card, that best Tom Brady card is like what, 76 or something?
62.
62. So this one's 47.
Oh, 64. 64.
Okay, so it's
45.
It's more than 40
higher,
more at the end of the day. Like that's it's not almost double, I guess, but it's a lot more. So basically what they're saying is they don't want you to use that card in salary cap. Now, why is that? I don't know, especially when they have it nerfed like we talked about with the quarterback running behind the line of scrimmage. So I don't understand why they do it. And again, it comes back to like EA makes so much profit that like I can't really shit on them. But like there's so many things that I look at and I'm like, why would they do that? That seems to me like it would be not encouraging people to try and open up packs and get Mike Vick. You know, and at the end of the day, that's what their job should be, is to fucking sell packs. So I don't know.
Yeah, it does seem kind of silly. Like, I think we can all agree, salary cap, like you said this, much better for competitive than draft champions. But
we agree with that. But what's interesting is I saw, I forget who it was. I don't want to misquote. So it was definitely some high end competitive players, like the top end guys were saying, like the guys who were in the finals of these tournaments were saying,
I think
that they prefer,
Mo said this.
Yeah, they prefer draft champions. And I'm like, seems to me like that would be like being able to exploit worse players on the opposing team's roster, but
and also playbooks too.
Yeah, and the playbook randomness is the big thing to me. But I know you guys have already talked about that, but yeah, to me, salary cap's the way to go.
Yeah. I think D Jones also really loves draft champions. All right, Texas boy, what do you think about the Vic's salary number?
So I didn't know it was that big of a deal. Like 109 salary cap, it is what it is. It's one of these things. They don't want you using a guy that has a crazy speed gap on all the other quarterbacks over here in this game. But then I was watching Problem Right stream my first time in there, and he made a valid point. Russell Wilson's Super Bowl card is 90. It's like 20 plus speed over the 97 Tom Brady, but it's only like a 2 salary cap difference. So the reason I don't know why Vic is that high of a salary cap.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense when you start doing the comparison shopping. Like, the most he probably should be is like a 76.
Well, when it first dropped, it was $9.99, right?
Yeah, so there was some tournaments going on at the time.
Yeah, so they didn't want people to use it at that time because they dropped the card because it was kind of an emergency thing because he retired, right? And they had to do it before like the paperwork went through or something like that, so that they could get a freaking Vic card in the game. Is that basically the way that we are viewing that?
Yeah. I think that's what happened.
Okay.
I think that's what happened.
So then they didn't have their competitive people there to assess what he should be priced at. So then they priced him at $9.99, and then they just like it seems so bizarre. It almost seems like they just didn't talk to the competitive people about what this card should be priced at, and they were just like, let's make it out of control and just leave it at that.
Yeah,
That's basically what happened.
The only thing like difference between like I said with the cutting edge, like 91 speed, that's linebacker speed. 96 speed, that's faster than Deion Sanders. Yeah. That's the fastest card in the game. And we all know speed's OP. So I could see why they did it because, Vic is Vic. But, yeah, it does seem kind of overboard.
Well, like, here's the
somebody's that have a salary cap. He needs to be able to return punch for me, too. Like,
yeah, no shit. You can't even use his speed.
Yeah, because like you're not gonna get his speed until he gets behind after the line of scrimmage, and then he still gets caught from behind. I got 3 clips of me using Michael Vick getting caught from behind.
Let me throw on a QB spy, and you run your Mike Vick. Let's see what happens. Like seriously, with like a 90 speed, I don't even have to have a fast linebacker. Like if you give me like an 88 speed linebacker, I'm gonna contain Mike Vick all day by just pressing X left on my right trigger. Like it's not. I mean, granted, there are some good people, I'm sure, that would exploit that, of course, whatever. But my general point is, like, you can at least contain the speed out of a quarterback, especially because they can't run behind the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. So
that's a fair point.
And also, here's the other thing, too. He won't be the fastest player in the game for all that long. We've already talked about, like, they have positional heroes coming out. They've got other ultimate legends. Like, Deion's going to get an ultimate legend, and some of these other players are going to get ultimate legends, and they're going to be up, at least up there with Vic. So are all those guys going to be 109 cap too?
That's going to be kind of fun to see, like, when we get Ultimate Legend that comes out. Ultimate Legend Tom Brady, who's going to, like, 73 salary cap. And Vic's still going to be at 109.
Yeah.
Like, that's just so weird to me. I don't know why they decided to go in that direction. But yeah, Problem had a huge problem with this. So that's the reason why I noticed it. I didn't really care for it until he brought it up. He's not going to use Vic, and I don't think he's going to use Vic in salary cap going forward. He's probably going to use Tom Brady and another receiver.
Yeah, there's no way
Russell Wilson, another receiver.
You will not see a top competitive player having Vic on their roster unless they change it. There's no way.
That's so much cap in one dude. That's a quarterback and a halfback.
Yeah, it's 2 really good ass players that you could have at other positions.
So.
Oh yeah. All right. One last. I saw some talk today on Twitter about having a YouTuber house. So Kliquid, you gonna open your place up to a bunch of YouTubers coming in and rent?
Whoa. Fuck no.
Texas, you gonna move to a YouTuber house?
No.
No?
Sounds awful.
You talk about moving to Colorado. Why don't you?
Yeah, because I know people there. I'm not trying to move with random dudes. Like, Vic tried to get me back to Carolina to live with. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm not moving to Carolina. Like, I'm going to go live with my friends and my family. I'm not trying to go live with a bunch of random dudes that are going to be commentating when I'm commentating. That seems awful.
This is crazy. You just said basically that Vic wasn't your friend, low-key. But,
ouch.
Right?
Ouch.
Anyway, no.
Breaking news on a MUTMEN podcast.
I actually think it would be kind of fun, but you have to have the right people there for it, right? It can't just be like you'd have to have people that are more personality than they are content, if that makes sense. When I say content, I mean like Madden. I'm a really good Madden player. Like that shit doesn't work in a house like that. Like you look at any of the houses, like the FaZe house, for example. It's not even their sniper guys. It's their guys that make like goofy videos that have nothing to do with gaming anymore. And it's just all of them getting together to make content, to make collaborations, to make funny videos, to make interesting videos, to whatever, to show off their cars because they all just make repulsive money. like the only other thing that I can think of where you have like group houses like that is where you have like a competitive team, like a CS:GO house or a Call of Duty house or whatever. But even those are pretty rare. I don't know if there's any Call of Duty house right now. Come to think of it.
I don't follow the scene. I know, isn't there one for 2K?
Optic?
Isn't there a couple guys together in 2K?
Yeah.
Jester in LA. Yeah, Jester, London, right?
Chris London, yeah.
Yeah.
And then TD's out there too.
I don't think TD lives with them.
I think he has to. He can't be living in LA by himself. That shit, LA's expensive.
TD rich, dog.
I think
Like, what are
he
you
might
doing?
You might be right about that.
No, I don't know. Like, I don't really know. I haven't really followed who TD's living with, but I know there were a couple other guys that were living there as well. I don't know the 2K scene that well, so I can't really name them.
What scenes do you follow?
Just Madden, pretty much. And
Okay, because it seems like you knew
Call of Duty, Call of Duty quite a bit, I guess.
And MMA.
Yeah, and obviously like
Nice.
MMA, I'm huge into MMA, but there ain't no MMA team houses that I'm aware of.
Well, there are. It's every season on Ultimate Fighter. MMA.
Yeah. There's poor guys that haven't made it to the UFC that are like legitimately dirt poor that have to eat like ramen noodles, and they live together in some shitty apartment. That's the MMA house.
You should go get a job on one of those stats. That'd be kind of cool to hang out with those dudes. But back to the house thing. I just like living with random dudes that you don't know much about other than just talk to them on Skype or through Twitter. And, I mean, if you're the genuine friends with the people, I guess it'll work out. But, I mean, the only positive I can think coming out of this is you would just probably have an endless cycle of girls if you were single.
Dude, you could make... you could definitely make content with other...
I mean, well, the content's that's a given, though. But I feel like...
Look at Vic's videos that he
just,
does.
just living in general. You can't really just...
Look at Vic's videos that he does with Mark.
I know that, but, like, I mean, other than just the content, I'm saying, like, it just seems like I would rather go live with people I know than just living with... You can still do fire videos, just living close to somebody. You got to live with them.
I guess.
Yeah. Hey, so Tex, when you said about the stream of girls, I don't know what you're talking about. What do your analytics say? Mine say my audience is 99% male. You expect like a lot of like females to recognize Madden YouTubers?
I think he's saying that they would all live in a nice ass house.
Well, you want money, you can get a house. Obviously, on top of that, if she comes by, you can tell her to bring a friend for your boy. And then if he has a girl that comes by, you can say bring a friend for your boy. Like it just be girls. That's all it would be. Just sex. That's all it would be.
I'm reassessing
sex and YouTube, dog.
Like you mentioned before. That sounds kind of lit, to be honest with you.
Sex and YouTube. I can have sex without living with a bunch of dudes.
Sounds like college, really.
Yeah, that sounds pretty similar to college, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
But living in a dorm as opposed to in a mansion. Although I don't think many of the Madden YouTubers could afford to get a mansion. Be like,
what are you talking about?
Depends on what part of town it's in.
Why you check other people's pockets, man?
It's,
you don't know
Kliquids.
it's a little bit different. It's just a different situation, is all.
Kliquid lives on a hill and looks down on all of us.
Yeah, right.
Out of his mansion.
See, that's like the ongoing joke is like Kliquid's rich. That shit ain't. It's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's kind of not funny because then like people actually like get pissed. So I don't know.
They get pissed at you for being rich?
Like, I don't know, man. Like I feel like I have like some people actually take that shit seriously, and then they're like they have this like weird aggression towards me. Like if I say it like that's not worth the money or whatever, you know, like something like that.
Oh, interesting. I haven't seen that.
But still, it's an ongoing joke. Like, doesn't go away.
Yeah. Because it's funny.
It is kind of funny.
That's how jokes work.
Fucking mean, though.
Yeah.
At least it's not that I'm poor and like live in like a cardboard box or something. I guess that would be worse.
Yeah, I guess that would. Then you could you can ask for more donations then.
That's true. I don't know if people would believe me if I'm streaming.
Nah, GoFundMe, dog. Everybody believes somebody's story on GoFundMe.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. I'm tapped out. How about you guys? Anything left you want to talk about?
I am good to go.
Yep.
This is fun.
Yeah.
One of my longer episodes over here. I'm going to go ahead and put the links in the description below for GutFoxxs Channel and Kliquids Channel, as well as a link over to iTunes. And there should be timestamps on the screen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And if you got anything else to say it now. Forever hold your peace.
Thanks for stopping by, Kliquid.
Yeah, thanks,
It was a blast
guys.
having you.
Make sure, if you guys are listening to this, make sure you go listen on iTunes And I think you can rate on iTunes as well, right? Rate the podcast,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Make sure you guys do that. Help these guys out. Because seriously, like I try my best to listen to this podcast every week. Sometimes I fall a week behind and then I listen to both weeks during the next week or something like that. But make sure you guys support these guys because we need more stuff like this, social interaction content, podcast type content to just break up the monotony of everything that everybody else does. So I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Kliquid.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right. Hope y'all enjoy. We out.
All right, peace.